Hey, it might be just a second to get started. The timer might run out, but I'll be right there.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed.
Meeting's tomorrow, by the way.
We were
Informal interview, or is that what it was called?
raised
Informal conference, informal something. Let me pause that. Hold on. Okay. Let me send myself this link. We'll get started. All right. Hurry. Thank you. I'm not allowed to introduce any new evidence or something. I'm just allowed to explain my point of view. So I can't think, especially when I put on the spot. Like my memory's shot, so I had to take some notes and stuff, but hopefully I can get through it tomorrow. We'll see.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Byrd. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Byrd. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Thanks for being here. Welcome. How's it going? First, let's get some announcements out of the way. So, yes, tomorrow's my appointment. It's called an informal interview to share my side of the story with a reviewer, a rating reviewer. It's actually a senior rating, so it's somebody's boss. I can't introduce any new evidence. I can't share any new evidence. That's a different style of appeal. This is called a higher level review, but I'm allowed to put my side out there. I'm pretty anxious about it, but I'm anxious about everything. So, today we got approved. Mariah and I both got approved for the work grant. So on the 16th, which is like Wednesday, I think, right, in a couple days, I get to start work for 29 hours a week. And I think that lasts for 3 months. We won't get our first paycheck for like a month and a half because they only pay on the 15th of the month, plus they hold you, plus whatever. But as soon as those paychecks start coming in, that should be more than enough to get us past, like, as soon as, in a month and a half or whatever, and as soon as those paychecks come in, we ought to be out of a tough spot. So that'll help quite a bit. Getting back on the road to pre-Helene. We'll see how that works out. So we did get approved. I got approved. MRI got approved. We start on the 16th. The timesheet's like for a full month, but you get paid on the next 15th of the next month or some shit. I don't know. So that I sent the rest of my documents in today. They sent me a contract to sign and told me how to fill out my W-4 online and shit. So hopefully that's like a done deal. I don't see it like them taking it away from us or something. So that'll be good. Once those paychecks start coming in, that's some stability for 3 months. So, and we get to work on the campground, which is what I'm already doing. I'm already working on the campground. I'm just not getting paid. The benefit of working, even though I'm not getting paid, is like I don't have to pay. I'm not paying rent right now, right? Because the place isn't open and I'm the only person there working. I'm my own pace, but it is no rent and electric's taken care of right now until we start making money again. So I'm not getting paid, but I kind of am, right? So it takes off I don't have to pay my rent there. Hopefully that gets us through. No matter what happens with disability, that'll be income coming in, which would be great. And it'll still work like it was. It'll be my old job. It's just instead of the campgrounds paying me, the grant will be paying me through Northeast State, which is a a local community college. So work on that. Bert seems fit to be tied. I just shared this over in Discord. Our boy Bert, sorry, my nose is running. Bert, very upset, very angry. He's an angry man. Let's see if we can get this where you guys can see it. So he shares this tonight. The night before, or the last few shows, you guys remember he's been talking about he had a sponsor, right? He's got a sponsor coming in. The haters are going to hate him. The haters might kill themselves because I got a sponsor and they're going to hate it. And we're about to be in the big bucks and we got all this money rolling in. You remember. And I was like, I bet you the sponsor's fake. I bet you the sponsor's fake. It's so easy to fuck with Bert. I bet you the sponsor's fake. And he kept saying, oh, the haters are now saying I don't really have a sponsor. I do. We're just working out the kinks. And I'm thinking, what kind of sponsor tells you that you can't mention anything about it? You're not allowed to talk about it. And there's how many kinks could there possibly be to work out? Like either they're paying you for an ad read or they're paying you commissions, right? For like an affiliate agreement for everybody that signs up, everybody that buys something using your code or your link, you get paid a percentage or both. That's the only two ways it can work. Sorry. Either they're paying you like, we'll pay you $5,000 to read this on 2 shows, right? We want it read within the first 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes of your show. And we want you to do it on 2 episodes within a week. Cool. Or they're going to say, here's your custom code or link. For every item purchased under your custom code or link, you'll get 5%, 10%, 7%, whatever. Or both. We're going to pay you and you get a percentage of sales. One of the two. Like, how many kinks are there to work out? The only thing I could imagine is if it was a brand new, like they had never done a deal with an influencer before. Yeah, then maybe there's some kinks to work out. But not too many companies are looking for a washed up Las Vegas lounge singer with 5 people in their chat to be their first influencer, you know what I mean? So then I started thinking, well, maybe it's somebody from their audience. So maybe somebody from their audience owns a business and they've never done like social media influencers advertisements. So, but then they would have said something, right? They would have said, oh yeah, I can send, like we would have seen it in the chat, would have sent in comments. It was just a lie. I'm pretty sure it was a lie. Bert still thinks it's a real company that blew him off and talk shit about his competitors. So it says, perhaps it's best if I calm down before I do a live. I have to take care of an emergency situation right now, and it's just before 6 p.m. Pacific, which would be 9 p.m. So by the time I get this handled, it will be late, like maybe 8 o'clock Pacific, 11. I'm going to blow the whistle on the people that claimed they were going to advertise on my show. And I'm going to expose what they told me about Brad Barton and Phil Godlewski and let the chips fall where they may. So what influencer do you think contacted a guy that has 9 people in his live chat? And not only do they contact such a small creator, when they contact him, they're like, oh yeah, I hate that Phil guy. I hate that Brad guy. Let me tell you some stories about them. Sounds like a pretty professional company, right? So stay tuned, folks. Please put in the comments if you want me to go live late tonight or just handle this tomorrow. Please pray for me, friends. And he took last night off, too. So that's 2 nights in a row. I'm assuming yesterday he was upset about the brand deal, and today is his, like, revenge. I'm going to tell you what they told me about Brad Barton and Phil Godlewski. That's not the way it works, right? Advertisers don't call you up and say, oh, you know that guy you also don't like? We hate him, and here's how much we hate him, and here's what he did to us. That's just not the way it works. So that's where we're at so far. We can actually check in. Let's do this. He's not going live tonight anyways. Not Phil. I've typed that in too many times. Bert Lynch. I just took a nasal spray to keep my nose from running. Hopefully it kicks in. I don't want to keep sniffling in the mic. Sound like a cokehead over here. So this would be July 12th was the last time he was live. We did watch some of this, but I do want to cover the part. I think he says it the first of this show about his new advertiser. So we're going to back up some.
Lost weight.
The reason butter is called butter is because of the butyric acid.
Now, there are people who walk and talk with their iPhone. That's the first thing.
Here we go.
Feels like me.
Let's get it, Bert.
Well, you met me.
And welcome to the Bert Lynch Show. Let's start with this. Can you hear me? That's the first thing I need to ask. Are we hearing it okay tonight?
Oh yeah, he is. He said he hasn't been sleeping or something.
I see that you guys are aware that I'm running late. Thank you to Robert for sticking up for me in the room.
I think he said this is the one where he yells at everybody. He says I could be dead or whatever. But his Facebook post from last night said he just needed a break, and then tonight is like, I'm going to expose that fake sponsor that said they were going to sponsor. Bert, before you go to expose and saying like, oh, such and such company told me, but make sure it's really that company, because what I think happened is someone contacted you and said, hey, I'm Joe from My Pillow or whatever. I'm Joe from Goldco, and they're just bullshitting you and talking shit about Brad and Phil to get you to repeat it. I don't think it was an actual company, but you do you, Ben.
Folks, I'm just one guy. And anytime there's a technical problem, I'm just one guy. I've got to fix it.
I do think he mentions the sponsors.
Kimber 711, and I noticed you guys have got your chat going pretty good. Thank you for that. Thanks for keeping each other company. Camera Huey's in the room. Red, white, and blue all the time, I guess is what that means. You guys and your names. You know, it's like, okay, I can hear you. Are we getting good audio? Please somebody tell me that in the chat room. I haven't seen or heard anyone say that.
Oh, yeah. Support the show. In a month and a half or so, we should have checks rolling in. But it's closer to 2 months, I guess, because today's the 14th. So, like, in 2 months, we should have checks rolling in. But until then, support the show at coldbird.fund. Helped us get through that, the last little stint of that, and hopefully we'll be doing all right by then.
Kind of need to hear that from somebody. Yes, can hear you well. Thank you. Jesus Christ loves us.
Thank you.
Appreciate you paying attention and participating. Good on you. Audio is okay. Now I got that. Soulflower is another one, or Soulflower is also here in the room. Okay.
All right, we're going to jump around because we've seen some of it.
On the nights I have to pick up my daughter from work. That's Robert. He's always taking up from the first 20 minutes that you guys are here. I twiddle my thumbs and I make sure that I've done my finger exercises. I'm not really doing anything while you're waiting for me to come live. I'm just kind of screwing around to keep you guys from being happy. That's what I'm doing.
Makes sense.
You guys just have no clue how much there is to do. And if one thing goes wrong, if one phone call comes in, if one issue happens with a piece of gear or whatever, then it slows me down. And you want content.
Just a heads up. Well, no, we'll talk about it when the time comes. I don't want somebody to. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Or do you want me to just come on here with nothing to talk about? Just sit here and look at me. Is that what you want? There are podcasters that do that. I watched a couple of them last night. That's all they do. They don't have to prepare for the show because their show is all about talking about someone else's show.
So this is just me. He didn't watch anybody else that covers anybody else. He just watched my show.
They watch it in real time and then keep pausing it and criticize everything you do. That's a show. That is a show. And there are morons that will sit and watch a show like that. Are you guys that kind of an audience? I don't think so. You guys want me to prepare content for you. For me to do that, I have to spend a large part of my day getting it ready for you. I go and I watch every clip, and then I load it, and I put it in order so that the clips seem to make sense consecutively.
Look at this prepared content I got for you. I better calm down before I do a live. Heads are going to roll. Why didn't you go Judy Chop that sponsor?
I'm not mad at you. I'm trying to explain it. I've had other people say, you sound mad. No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you. And if I am mad, I'm not mad at you. I'm just aggravated. I'm very aggravated. Okay? Why am I aggravated? Because I'm living rent-free in the heads of more people that are watching the show right now on my program.
And thank God, because you're not paying the rent where you actually live. So could you imagine if I charged rent for my headspace?
They watch it on other people's program. Them that can do, them that can't criticize. There are people who are making a complete show out of just criticizing other people. I share with you conservative content, and also I play for you progressive content that's in comparison to the conservative content so that we get a balance of what's going on. Not that I ever agree with the progressive side, but it's important that we see it. So I have to go search for it for you. It doesn't just fall in my lap every day.
He doesn't even do that, I would say. He goes and finds like the craziest takes and then misrepresents them as much as he can on the progressive side, right? No matter what they say, he takes it out of context and says this, that, the other, and just gives it the wildest fucking least generous take he probably could from anybody.
This is a Saturday, typically a slow news day. So what does that mean for me? It takes me longer to find decent content for you. I could just go click on somebody else's show from yesterday, and we could sit here. I go get myself a vape pen, put my hat on backwards, grow my beard out, and you guys would have yourself a clone.
This is where he says I don't have to put on my makeup before the show.
An asshole. So I don't want to do that. So I'm sorry to Girls Got Rhythm Too, who says, come on, Bert, we've been waiting. Well, what do you think I was doing? What do you think I was doing? Just before we went live, my camera wasn't working. Couldn't figure out why. Couldn't figure out why for 15 minutes. It always works. It's never been a problem. In a year, it's never been a problem. It's been a year.
It's almost like you shouldn't start a show at 70 years old if you don't know how to work the equipment.
Since I installed it, and I have to go back there through all those wires, trace them all down.
Honestly, listen. Bert could walk around Vegas with his phone and ask people questions or give people tips on Vegas, right? He's lived there half his life, most of his life. Give people tips on Vegas or talk to drunk people. Hell, he could do impressions and have people guess who it is on his phone and probably have content and a following. And it would pay some of his bills. This isn't working, Bert. No matter how big your flag is or how much you swipe your hair over to the side, it's not working, bud.
Gotta figure out why it's not working. Did my cat step on something? No. Did it reset? No, no, maybe. Let's try that. Oh, now I gotta refocus it. Now I gotta re-aim it. Okay, well, we'll do all of that. And tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. My audience is waiting. So I put it in the room. I'm running late, you guys. I'm sorry. I'll try to get here. I'll get here.
So to turn off and turn back on his camera, reset it, and hit the focus, it took him, what, another 45 minutes?
10:30. And I didn't get there for 10:30. It's, I think I got here close to 10:30. As close as I could. I'm sorry if you're upset with me. I mean, it ain't like you're paying for the damn show, because you're not. It's free. And clearly you all know it's free. And you want to make sure it stays free. I'm going to play clips for you today from 20 different sources. Let's say it took me...
That right there is some fucking backhanded, that's some slick shit. Clearly you know it's free, and you enjoy that it's free, and you want to make sure it stays free, because nobody's donating.
5 minutes to watch every clip. And I have 5 minutes to get it ready to play for you. So for every clip you're watching, I've got 15, 20 minutes tied up in just that clip, just for you guys. I went over the other day and watched Brad Barton's show. He was unprepared. He didn't have a clue what he was going to say. Not a clue. Every other word was, okay, here's what we're going to do, okay. If you count the amount of times he says okay in the show, and he had 13,000 people watching him. And his crowd is trained up really well to buy whatever it is he's promoting. He even insulted his audience yesterday and said, you guys can't afford to get involved in this project I'm in. This takes real money. So stop emailing me and asking me to get involved. You can't afford it. Way to insult your audience, bro. See, I could just sit and do this. I could do this. I could be...
Or he could just be honest with them, right? Maybe it's a $100,000 buy-in, and he knows his audience doesn't have that.
So thank you, Robert, for sticking up for me. Kimber 7-Eleven loves it when I'm late because it gives her a chance to talk about food. I love you, Kimber. And I don't know how you say WRUADA. Hey, hi, I thought I was too late. Okay. Red, white, and blue, girl. I can't. Not everyone somewhere in the world. You don't have to sit there and wait for me. I'm sorry, you guys. I apologize. And to make a donation, guess how many people have? 0.
There it is.
You know how many people told me don't waste your time? I've asked everybody in this room every night this week to make a donation. Guess how many people have? 0.
I've asked everybody in this room every night this week to make a donation. Guess how many people have? Guess how many people have? 0. So there you go.
The other podcasters ask for donations and they get them. They get them in real time, right in the middle of the show. You want to sit here and complain over a show you're not paying a nickel to watch? You can leave.
There you go. Run off the audience you do have.
Girls Got Rhythm says, man, there's a lot of chat in here tonight. I appreciate all the chat, you know.
They're all talking shit.
Girls Got Rhythm, I thought he was coming on at 10. Well, if you saw when you got here, it says, I'll be here at 10:30.
He's even bad at reading the chat. That's what that one person just said. They said, I love when Bert's late because we actually get to talk about food without him yelling at us.
You're not watching this show. Come back tomorrow.
He just banned somebody for 24 hours.
So I've just taken Girls Got Rhythm out of the room. That's it. I'm not putting up with this crap anymore. You guys don't like it? Just leave. Don't sit and bitch. The exception of Robert. Everybody, not one person there said, I wonder if he's okay. I wonder if he's had a heart attack and fallen on the floor and there's no one there to help him. I wonder if somebody broke in his room and killed him. I wonder, that son of a bitch is late again. I
wonder if Shadow will eat your face after you die.
Inspires me to want to do a show for you folks. It really does. So, Janan 1950, welcome to the show. You're catching me but appreciate the content. Thank you. See there, a nice
How many people are in his chat? I think at the time he had like 6 people. They most of them made like 1 or 2 comments.
He was nice on a Saturday. God bless you. And Slow Flower says we appreciate you. Let's all just be happy for a change. That's Kimber. You don't wear a hat?
Streams on Rumble.
No, I don't wear hats. And how I keep this hair? You know, I'm 67 years old with a full head of hair. So I've never worn a hat, except on stage or as a costume in a movie.
Dude, I was thinking about it the other day. I wasn't wearing my hat at the start of yesterday's show, and I didn't wear it the whole time I was in Florida. And I was thinking about it. I don't know that even if I could grow like magnificent long, I don't know that I would want it. I don't know what I would fucking do with it. It's nice just to shave in the shower and just fucking go on and not do anything.
Yes. Red, White, and Blue says, just found the show first, and I was talking to a person in the chat room. You was even on, so simmer down. I'm here now, so let's have a good show. Let's hear some news and opinion. Well, okay. Yes, ma'am. Or sir.
Our company would like to sponsor your show when you cover Bert Lynch, for sure. Somebody needs to.
So there's this one particular podcaster whose name I'm not going to...
Honestly, when he gets upset about me getting donations is when I usually get the most donations.
mention who lives rent-free in my head, or I live rent-free in his.
Uh-oh, slipped up. Freudian slip.
And he's on there last night. Somebody sent it to me. He said, you got to go look at what he's saying about you. I went over and looked. I was like, screw this guy. He tried to do a background check on me. Not a background, but like an internet search. And he found me. And he goes, oh, that's not him. That's not him. IMDb, Revenge Nerds. Yes, I'm in that movie, you jackass. I was a stuntman in that film. And my name's in the credits. The fourth stuntman from the bottom. Go rent the film.
The fourth stuntman from the bottom. So you weren't even in the top of the list for stuntmen?
I was in several movies, and IMDb mentions Hammerhead Jones. I played Matt Poulin. Go look it up. That's not him. Oh, there he is. There's his picture right there. There's his Facebook page. Oh, yeah. Fucking idiot.
You got me.
My whole show was his show last night. You know how long it takes him to prepare for a show? I work a full-time job, and I do a show. Why can't you? Because I prepare a fucking show, you idiot. You just watch somebody else's and complain.
Ah. Bert, whose show makes money and whose doesn't? I'm just asking.
Sorry about the language, y'all. I'm just a little bit tired of it, but it's not like it's really doing anything to hurt me other than the fact that, you guys are going to have a lot to talk about when this new thing that I'm getting ready to do goes down. You're going to lose your mind on it.
There it is. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Again, this whole new thing has fallen through already. Let's slow it down to real time.
Going to have, but
let's listen.
It's not like it's really doing anything to hurt me other than the fact that, you guys are going to have a lot to talk about when this new thing that I'm getting ready to do goes down. You're going to lose your mind on it.
You're going to lose our mind on it. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you're going to lose your mind on it. You're going to lose your mind on it.
He says it twice, so we know it must be important. But then we get, just a few minutes ago, about an hour ago, perhaps it's best if I calm down before I do a live. I have to take care of an emergency situation right now, and it's just before 6 p.m. Pacific time. So by the time I get this handled, it will be late, like maybe 8 o'clock Pacific. I'm going to blow the whistle on the people that claimed they were going to advertise on my show. As soon as you mention advertisers, Bert, I said for what? For what? You have 8 people in your chat. What company's going to spend any money to make potentially, 2 sales, 1 sale, and one of them's going to be from you? Unless it's charity, because you know the owner of the company's like, hey, it's hard for me to get sponsorships. In fact, I have to use an agency that represents me to get sponsorships, and they're still bottom of the barrel. They guarantee, my sponsorships might guarantee $500 minimum, or maybe even less than that, maybe $200 minimum. But I get paid for signups. So when we've done a couple of them, if you guys remember, the games that I'll play on stream, and I ask you guys to sign up and make it to a certain level, they'll pay a couple bucks for every person who does that, right? So $200, and I might make another couple $100 off people signing up and playing it during the certain time period. So $300-$400, and that's a one-time thing. But for someone to come in and be like, we'd like to sponsor all your shows. Every time you go live, we'd like to sponsor you. And we're just going to give you this cash just for doing your show. We don't want you to sell anything. We don't want you to do anything. We're just doing your show. You have 8 people in chat, bro. What? They'd be better off burning the money and sending up smoke signals as an advertisement. More people would see it.
Let me get back to this. Okay, this is one I want you to.
We're going to lose our minds.
Who is the person living that you live rent free in? I'm not going to say his name because it just gives him publicity. There's
I wouldn't either.
that are new that may or may not be here from that.
Who has ever had good luck? Ever. Of all the people that I've talked about on the internet, who has ever had good luck saying, I'm not even going to mention his name. I'm not even going to mention his name. None that I remember. All of them have bad luck with that. Usually their chat's full of people saying, say his name. Say it.
That room. They send people over to make fun. You know the guy that kept calling me.
You're not an evil person.
That was Narc, and it was hilarious.
With legs.
I know we're supposed to be scared of it.
And it kept coming up as no caller ID the last couple of days. But he's in that room bragging about it.
Yes. I can tell he's done his water line.
Yeah, I called him and he called him and called him. And he just gets driving me crazy. Well, not anymore. Because my good friend Robert reached out and told me how to block it. So thank you for doing that, Robert.
Actually, I don't even think Robert told him how to block it. What actually happened is Robert might have tried to tell him, but Boomer Bert instead decided to use YouTube to search for it. So he ended up with this. No longer available. So his search history on YouTube says, silent no caller ID on iPhone. Bad Chad. The 5 Fox News Today. Raise up Old Glory. Blackjack. Bert Lynch, raise up Old Glory. Blackjack in the casino. Fox News Live. Blackjack. Again, 2 words this time instead of 1 word. Then followed by, do the Jews run everything? Name the Jews running America. Ducey ask about Pam Bondi. That's his fucking YouTube search history from this show. Or from the show before this.
Kathy M., 1978, says, I've watched his show. I think he's very insecure. He always makes fun of people. You are correct, Kathy. And if you want to say his name in the chat room, you can. That way the folks in the chat can see it without me.
Kathy, if you want to say my name, you can. I might show up, though. Ooga booga.
Telling the other hundreds or so people that are watching this jerk's name. But I don't care. I mean, I could say it.
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
You put on a hat, you don't shave, so you don't have to get ready to go live.
Right. My wife does my makeup to save time.
You don't comb your hair.
You can tell by this sheen across my forehead that clearly I'm wearing some powder. You don't get this natural look, okay? This is highlights like you've never known before. Up there on the bat signal. I got to keep it up and steady.
You don't shave. All you got to do is make sure that your
I do shave. How do you think I get these beautiful lines? I also comb my beard. 1,000 strokes first thing in the morning, 1,000 strokes right before I go to bed. And that's just my penis. I brush my beard probably, I don't know, 10 times.
hand that your vape is closed because he sits and sucks on a vape every other breath. He talks about how he wants to, how somebody and I are going to fight.
This is where I lined up all the vapes. I had 5 of them here handy. Tonight I've got, within arm's reach, I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 within arm's reach. I usually have like 2 I cover, or 2 I carry, and then I have like 2 here, and then I charge them while I'm at the office. I charge my phone too while I'm at the office. I don't charge it overnight. I don't brush my penis. I said 1,000 strokes before bed, and 1,000 strokes when I first wake up.
And he thinks he's going to whip out. How? How's he get a breath? All I got to do is last 5 minutes with you and run you out of breath. You're never going to.
Bro, I don't know how many times I have to say this. You will lose a cardio battle. I vape while running on the treadmill. I ran a PT test one time in the Army while smoking a cigarette. You don't have me on cardio. I don't know why you think you do. Shaped like a goddamn peanut M&M. You don't have me on cardio, bro.
They're going to survive with me. And yes, I'm a martial artist, and I teach martial arts, or I did before COVID. And I do not have to get into my skill sets, and I don't have to get into that and brag about it. But people who know me. And then somebody else in this room says, well, I've lived in Vegas and I never heard of the guy. Well, I've lived in Vegas 27 years and never heard of you either.
Yeah, Scooter.
But if you want to go on YouTube and type in Bert Lynch and start looking through all of the videos, there's a lot of them.
Imogene's Trailer Park.
Try typing in Bert Lynch Minix, M-I-N-I-X. Try typing in, oh, that's another thing. They said I don't own, never owned, or maybe you own the bar. I don't know, something about not owning the bar. Go look at Bert Lynch, Norma Jean's trailer.
No, you said you couldn't get a job because you owned so many bars in the past. So no bar would hire you. Oh, I'm not hiring him because I'm just a low-level manager and I'm afraid he'll take my job. Okay.
On YouTube. Go get stuff in education before you start criticizing somebody. I got to turn this area down.
Apparently there's an education we need to get in Birdology. History of Bertrode.
Soulflower says, Harley Newman does a podcast on Saturday. Thank you for your effort. Well, I think you're very welcome, and thank you for saying that. Hey, baby, come here. Hey, almost 20 pounds.
I think this is about where we quit at, right?
Watched him from the time he was a baby kitten. He weighs 18 pounds. It is not when she was born. Oh, goodness. Nice shadow, but it's pretty green eyes. He's a pretty boy. He's a pretty boy. And you guys are lucky that he even pays attention to us. He's like, there you go. I'm going to pull you over this way a little bit. You want to sit? You can sit down? I don't think so. I think you're going to take off. You're not. You want to sit here with us? He doesn't like the lights. He sits here a lot right beside me when I'm working. But when the lights come on, he tends to not want to sit up here. The LED lights bother him. It's really clear.
I got it one time where I was running like right around 3 miles every other day on the treadmill. But now I need to get back. I need to hit it harder again. I'm down to like 2.5 miles. But still, like, I'll be 40 soon. I'm still running on the treadmill. I'm deceivingly fat.
But that's true. But that's the case. They bother me too. I don't like them. But I can't afford to buy incandescent bulbs. I just have to order them. And honestly, folks, it's just tough trying to do this show and support the show. And yes, it's the only job I have. And there's a reason for that. My career ended in COVID. It didn't end. It got put on pause, but it's been a long-ass pause. I'm
going to see if my community college can give me Bert History 101. Get an education. I worked at Imogene's Trailer Park. Okay.
And would I like to go back to performing? I would. I have a friend of mine who books cruise ships. I can't go back out because I don't have a prepared show. It would take thousands of dollars for me to prep a show. I'd take out on a ship. He put me out there if I had the money to do it.
I can't run fast anymore. Well, I mean, I can run fast like in short bursts. There's a really funny story about my brother-in-law. I don't want to tell it right now, but I run fast in short bursts, but like really the treadmill's like a jog, right?
Kathy M says 78 is not my birth year. It's the year I graduated. That's the year I graduated too, Kathy. And
just get your heart rate up and keep it up, kind of deal.
I'm not the Kathy that you referred to. What state are you in, Kathy? So, Soulflower says cute kitty. He is really a cute kitty. He's featured on my intro video, and we have something very exciting that's getting ready to happen. I just can't talk about it yet. My agreement with the company that's going to be doing this is you can tease it, but you can't give any details yet. And I understand that one of the reasons I don't want to give any details is I want to make sure everything that I've been told is actually going to happen.
Oh, it didn't. I'll go ahead and tell you it didn't. So, there you go. Yeah, so it's about the Army to max out a PT test for the run. It's about a 6.5 minute mile for 2 miles. And that was no problem when I was in the Army, but I'm fat and old and slow now.
And also,
and my body hurts.
I make sure that I'm accurate when I'm describing it because it's new to me. And so I have to make sure that she's in Valparaiso, Indiana. Well, welcome to the show here in Las Vegas. Shadow just climbed into his little closet. That means leave me alone. So, the other person I was talking about thinks that, he watches every show. I don't. But I do go over and check just about all the podcasters that I'm familiar with on a regular basis.
Dude, he knows so many details about my life and so many comments that are in chat. He has to watch every show. He has to watch every fucking show.
Just to see what they're covering, what they're talking.
Oh, that's a fast mile. I never got much below, right around 6 minutes, basically. But 17 to 21 is the lowest age bracket for the PT test for the Army. Even over 21, I was still getting 100% as if I was 21 or below. So I was proud of that. I maxed out the PT test when I was young and gung-ho and all that shit, but be lucky to pass one now, I think.
And When somebody sends me a message and says, "Oh, he's over there and that's all they're doing is bashing you. You might want to go check it out." And I mostly do that to check in the chat room to see who the people are that are in there chatting, so that I can be aware when they come over here. That's mostly what I'm doing.
Block
I
him.
find out that people like that
He doesn't care about the show. He's just watching the chat.
idiot that calls himself by one name. Robert, I told you that name. It's not him. That name, I looked it up on Facebook. It's a famous person. So no. And and the guy.
Wait. So there's somebody in my chat that calls themselves by a name, and he Googled it, and it came back as a famous person. Who would that be, chat? It's not Narc.
He heckles me with that name. It's not him. And then I find out that people like that idiot that calls himself by one name. Robert, I told you that name. It's not him.
Oh, it's probably the Narc it's probably the name that Narc gave him. The name that Narc set. So let's go back to Narc's video. Because he called and said, I'm so-and-so. This is so-and-so. It's probably that name. Let me see if I can find it. So I have to scroll back for a second. It was pretty funny, if I do say so myself. I had heard that Narc was talking to him. He had told me before, like, he had got Byrd a couple times and had been texting and talking to him on the phone. Oh, here it is. What name does he give him?
Hey y'all, this is Bert Lynch in my show. Had no audio again tonight. We took it dark. Bert. Hey Bert. Hey Bert. How you doing? Hey Bert, how you doing? Who's this? Jason Pope from Kentucky.
Jason Pope from Kentucky. Is that what he said?
Why you calling?
Hey Bert, how you doing?
Who's this?
Jason Pope from Kentucky.
Why you calling me, man?
Well, I was wondering about your show. You had a show and there's no music or voices on it, and then it went dark. I was trying to watch it.
I was trying to watch.
Try again. Try again and change your phone off on no caller ID, okay?
Well, no, I can't do that because you don't answer when I take your call. No caller ID.
What do you mean you don't answer?
You don't answer it when I don't have the no caller ID on it. So
Why do you think that? I don't answer the caller ID, and I just decide if I see somebody keeps calling me during my show every night. Is that you?
that's me, sir. I'm trying to...
The two funniest things in this whole thing is him going, Bert, 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 Bert. That. And then he's like, somebody keeps calling me with no caller ID right in the middle of my show. Is that you? That's me, sir. I'm trying to get a hold of you. I'm trying to watch your show.
Why do you think that? I don't answer the caller ID, and I just decide if I see somebody keeps calling me during my show every night. Is that you?
That's me, sir. I'm trying to get a hold of you. I won't consider you.
Stop doing it in the middle of my show.
I'm not going to stop doing it. I donate. I should be part of the show. I give you money.
I've never seen anything from you.
Yes, you have.
So here's how easily Bert can be bought. He says, I donate, I should be part of the show. The correct response is well, even if you donate, that doesn't make you part of the show, right? I still do my show. Appreciate the support. But he's like, I haven't seen any money from you. Tell me what you donate. You might be on the show.
Doing it in the middle of my show.
I'm not going to stop doing it. I donate. I should be part of the show. I give you money.
I've never seen anything from you.
Yes, you have. You give me hearts. I can send you pictures of them. Are you why are you not?
Bert, 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 Bert. So that's Narc.
That name, I looked it up on Facebook. It's a famous person. So, no.
It's a famous person.
And the guy he heckles me from calling the line, and then he goes over there and brags about it, and everybody gives him, good for you, good for you.
Oh, wait. Here you go, Narc.
I will address one thing that the guy said.
Okay.
About my audio. He said,
Yes, it's bad.
In-ears, which are very nice in-ears. They're highly sensitive, very professional.
Very nice, very expensive, very professional in-ears.
I suppose they're molded to fit your ears. I told you guys the other day, I don't like to wear those. I don't like them because I like to be able to hear the ambient noise of the audience when I'm on stage, and I don't like they're uncomfortable inside my ears. I like them. Most of the pros love to use them because it's easier than it is trying to get a monitor mix on someone I'm talking about on stage and in the studio.
Oh, so it was from Q Streaming? I was hoping it was somebody fucking with him. Yeah, because he posted this about how he's gonna snitch on. Well, Brad and Phil both do Q Streaming. Maybe the person told him like, "Hey, I make this much money," but if it is Q Streaming, I got to call bullshit on Bert because he said he would never do that. That it was a pyramid scheme. He would never share that with his audience. He's not going to do that. He could, but he's not going to.
But he says he can hear a buzzing sound. I can hear it too through these headphones.
It's horrible.
Because I'm in an apartment building with one outlet. Well, one outlet.
Even my chat can hear it.
In my studio setup in my house, I addressed those problems. I can't do anything about that buzz. The thing is, please tell me you're hearing the buzz because I've asked you several times. I know it's there, but it's only there because Mr. Brilliant over there is wearing in-ear monitors. He did point out an audio issue.
I can hear it on my phone speaker. So
with a microphone, I think I addressed it. I'm not sure. The camera seems to have its own internal microphone, and it's supposed to shut off when I switch over to this system, and it's not doing it. And that's probably more to do with the A10 Mini Pro allowing that.
Oh, here's a thing. I looked up. There's somebody named Jason Pope that was arrested for sex trafficking. Obviously, that's not Narc, but it said that he was bragging about it online. Have you guys seen any stories about a guy from Johnson City, Tennessee? That was date raping people, and it was like a serial rapist, and the police were allegedly taking care of him, like helping him, like refusing to investigate. In fact, an investigator came here, and they ran her off because she wanted to do an investigation. And one of the names on his rape, it literally said he literally had a rape list that was labeled rape list. And one of the names beside it said dash baby. And he had like 30 women or something. And like, he basically just said, I paid the cops to leave me alone. The only reason that it kind of come to an head is a woman fell from his apartment window, like his balcony, and died. And she had trace amounts of date rape drug in her. Now, the date rape drug, GHB, some people just take it, right? So they couldn't technically do much with that because it was like such a small amount. But they searched his apartment. When they finally went to arrest him, he fled because he was already tipped off. He ended up getting picked up in Florida, came back, basically told on all the police, said, hey, I paid him off, blah, blah, blah. But there's so many people that have come forward and said, hey, yeah, I told the police. The police just protect this guy. His name's Sean Williams. It's a big story. I thought about doing a whole show on it, but it wouldn't be humorous, right? It'd be kind of dry, and it'd probably be like a full show. Like it's a long story. Johnson City had to settle a $28 million class action lawsuit for not going after this guy. And there's still 2 more federal suits going on. Insane, dude. It was a whole fucking thing. And that's like 15 minutes from my house. In fact, the house he lived in was a bar that I used to go to. Me and Mariah's been to together. He lived above the bar. Newman's.
That audio to come down that line than it is anything else. And it is something that I'm going to address. I'm going to look it up. So
I'm sorry. I said he was arrested in Florida. He was arrested in North Carolina.
There is an ambient noise when I mute the microphone.
It says his arrest led to the recovery of images that showed Williams sexually abusing 67 women and children inside his Johnson City condo. Court record said. Included among the images are victims who reported their assaults to Johnson City police to no avail. The lawsuit alleged. he had a bunch of pictures of like women passed out that he had just raped. And he would take a picture. It's insane. It's insane. So the last I heard, back in February, he went for sentencing on 3 different counts of child porn and 1 count of escaping federal custody. But he was like, the whole thing is crazy. And the woman who come down here that was like a prosecutor to investigate it, she basically started getting like death threats and like notes, people telling her like, leave this alone, drop it, leave it alone, blah, blah, blah. She ends up getting so scared she quits, but she writes an article about it. And like the New Yorker or some like not news magazine, but more like editorial magazine runs her article, and that gives it more attention and more steam and eventually justice for these people. It's fucking insane.
And I don't know if you heard any of that cough right there, but you're not supposed to. And so he's right about that. The guy could be an asset to everybody if he weren't such an asshole. And he said he's mentally ill because he's got PTSD. And he wants to be 100% funded by...
I got UPS.
By our government to pay him for his disability of being...
USPS, I think so it is.
Idiot. And he's a veteran, so maybe...
An idiot.
Is by our government to pay him for his disability of being an idiot.
My disability is that I'm an idiot? Why didn't anybody tell me? Now I feel like I'm not included with the cool kids.
Funded by by our government to pay him for his disability of being an idiot.
By the way, Bert claims that he called the VA to try to tell them that I was crazy and I didn't deserve disability as a combat veteran who's claiming that they're crazy and do deserve disability. I don't know. I don't think you're accomplishing the goal you set out to accomplish. Keep calling. It helps. In fact, I may need to get arrested a couple times. So there's that.
And he's a veteran, so maybe he does have PS. I think he's trying to con the Veterans Administration. He's trying to get the VA to do it, to make it pay.
I am.
And so he's acting as crazy as he can do.
You got me.
Look at it. Well, this guy is nuts. He can't function in society. But he criticizes everybody. Every conservative out there. He criticizes everything about them. The way they wear their hair, the way their background looks, the way what they say. If you make one mistake in the verbiage, if you put a letter in because maybe of the region
verbiage
of the country you're from, and you say something that doesn't agree with his position, that's his show. He needs you to look at him joking. He's probably joking on something. I guess what's he joking on? What a pitiful, pitiful person. And for me to even spend any more time on it would be just ridiculous because it's just a sad. And I know, Robert,
you can't spend any more time on it
because you don't hear it in your speaker, in your computer. You don't hear it, so it's not something I'm going to. I can't spend a lot of time chasing after because of my. I've already told you the electrical problems in this apartment. If I could move into a new place and eventually someday I'll be able to do that, we will be able to address that. But I did tune it with an EQ, with the EQ and the compression on that I have that comes with the audio in this A10 Mini Pro.
Maybe he has. So he might have the gain turned up. I wonder if he has a cloud lifter between his microphone and his the ATEM Mini. If he doesn't, and he's got the gain turned up real loud and the compression, that might be it. It might just be such a low sound that you can't even really hear it, but he's got the gain up so high and he's compressing that sound so much that it just fucking shoves it down your eardrums. I hate it.
Able to tune it to the point where it's not as bothersome as it would be. I thought you were going to walk around and interview people. That would be an interesting job. I want.
Yes. Bert could literally. Now he says, I need a cameraman and 2 security guards and another guy and this guy, a boom mic operator. Like, you could go around with your phone and interview people 100%.
But it costs money. It costs money to buy the equipment that I need to go around and do that. I've got to hire a camera person. I've got to get an external microphone. I've got to get a setup where the microphone is Bluetooth, and I've got to get someone to go with me. So I've got to pay them to do that. It is going to be something I want to do. But for the same reason, I don't have anybody.
Some of the fanciest TikTok setups are literally just two cell phones. So like one person's recording the video with their cell phone, and the other person's holding the cell phone like this as the microphone, and then they just sync up the audio. Like, literally, that would be everybody has a cell phone in their pocket. 2 cell phones. One cell phone would do it. Just hold it on a selfie stick, dude. Holy shit. At least get started and get an audience for it.
Helping me pick content and post content is the same reason that I'm standing here by myself right now. Or sitting here by myself. Seems that makes sense.
I don't personally know the Sean Williams guy, but looking at his picture, I'm pretty sure I ran into him multiple times in Johnson City.
So no buzz, clear here too. No buzz. Thank you, Kimber. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Robert. No buzz. That's from Joanna 1950. And nice and clear. So yeah. My dad would say about that other guy, he'd bitch if he got hung with a gold rope. You could just use your phone. Wanda said, you just use your phone. Use your phone for what? Just do Facebook Live with your phone. I don't want to. So
no.
The people that are getting ready to come on board with me here would not be interested in me and not be interested in offering me what they're offering me. If I was sitting here like this and going, hey, everybody, how you doing today? This is Bert, and I'm calling you from, I'm coming into you live here from the bathroom. You can't tell I'm sitting on the toilet, but I am. And, so I want to just report to you, by the way, there's no microphone.
To be fair, that might be more interesting than the show you're running now. If it was just every time Bert took a shit, he would come down, he'd go live on his phone and say, this is the news from the commode, or the bathroom news with Bert Lynch. That might be interesting.
On here, so you wouldn't see that. That's what other people do. That's for other people who don't have any ambition at all. Cameron says it's like the guy on Jesse Waters' show. Okay, well, it's called A Man on the Street. And that guy's got a microphone in his hand. He's got about a 3 or maybe 4-person crew on the other side of that camera. He's got somebody running sound. He's got somebody running the camera. And he's got at least 1 security guard. And there's probably 2. 1 security guarding the cameraman and sound man who are occupied looking at the camera, looking at sound equipment. And somebody just off camera that's there to rescue him in case somebody goes completely batshit. So I think you guys see that and you don't understand what actually goes into having to doing a man on the street or even a walk and talk. Now, there are people who walk and talk with their iPhone when they go for a walk out in the country or go walking through the city. I've seen people do it, okay? They can't share content with you. They can't show you videos. They can only talk to you about their opinion, which I could have done that today so far because I've shown you no content. So I could have done that today. But that's not typically my show. This is a Saturday. It's a slow news day. So I'm addressing some of this, and I don't mind answering questions. I don't mind answering questions at all, but if they're stupid questions, you're going to get a stupid answer. I don't want to say stupid question. If they're a rude or ignorant question, why don't you go get a job? Well, because this is my job. It's not paying me very well. Linus says true. Johnny has an entire staff. The difference between Linus and I don't mean to say this in a negative way. I happen to know Linus. I've met her in person. She's a very nice lady. Very pretty lady, by the way. Dennis Michael Lynch started with the walk and talk. You're right. Dennis Michael Lynch is somebody I've followed for a long time, actually.
Oh, he was arrested in Florida as well. He was arrested in North Carolina, then he escaped custody, and when he escaped, he was arrested in Florida. He said that an angel helped him escape federal custody in Florida while being transported to court. Or, I'm sorry, before he went to Florida, while being transported to court in like a federal custody van. An angel helped him escape.
Actually appeared with him at an event back in 2016. So we're not friends or anything, but I do know who he is. And I did used to watch his walk and talk. But that's not what he does now. He's got a studio now. But yeah, you're right. That is how he started. I mean, Anne why am I drawing blank on Anne's last name? Bandersfield moved to my hometown. That's where she is. And she still does walk and talks. She goes out for her daily walk. And she has a selfie stick and goes out and talks to her audience while she takes a walk. That's very cool. Cool for her. I don't do that because it's 108 degrees outside right now. I'm not going out there for a walk. January 1950 is, this is Janet. Oh, hi, Janet. How are you? So I was getting ready to say about Linus, very nice lady. Linus lives in Las Vegas, and we here in Las Vegas witness and experience show business firsthand. It's not unusual for us to see a camera crew in our workspace. If you work in a casino, it's not unusual for there to be an area in a casino where there's a camera crew shooting something. And so you become more educated about that sort of thing. Doesn't mean anybody's stupid because they don't know about it. But we live in a very vibrant city where we see it all the time.
How Gen X are getting their teenage back.
So this is my mom and this is my grandma. I recently...
So Q streaming, so he's calling out. That's crazy.
Well, because if you live in rural America, the flyover states, you rarely ever see that sort of thing unless you catch it on TV. B. Murphy says, have you watched Kelly Marie Brady and Nancy Drew? Yes, I have. I actually talked to her. Again, those types of formats are not something that the people who are talking to me right now would be interested in having anything to do with. And so for anyone to criticize what I'm doing, you're not realizing that I have a bigger picture in mind.
Okay.
This is the beginning, not the end. And that when you hear the news that I am going to be sharing with you eventually, you'll understand it a little more, I think. And it's going to be good news for not just me, but for you guys too. So Carol Watson says, I'm watching from my TV and there is a buzz. Okay, so some speakers are going to pick it up. When I get into a better location, I can adjust that. So thank you for letting me know that.
Sean Williams, if you guys are still talking about that, he owned a contracting business. It was called something Glass Concrete Contractors, Glass and Concrete. It was just a real generic name.
So we spent a lot of time here. We've been on here for quite a while now, just talking about months, which is fine to me. I don't mind bad at all, especially when the people in the chat.
The houses he's been evicted from, like a Star Tour, get a bus and cut the top off of it, and then just drive around to every house he's been evicted from, where he likes to drink away his sorrows. The world's largest wooden American flag background,
Rumor interested. You're not criticizing Murphy, it's fine. I think what Nancy Drew does is very interesting. She walks around Washington, D.C. with her iPhone and she films anything and everything she can see. And if you guys remember back in the day, it was very helpful. It was helpful because we were hearing all these rumors about this, that, and the other thing, and then she was saying there's nobody here. They put fences up around all the buildings. We wouldn't know about it because the mainstream media didn't tell us. Nancy Drew told us. So yeah, I totally appreciate her. and she's had a rough time of it too. She's gotten harassed a lot. But she falls in the category of close category of what they call the First Amendment auditors that go out, and they always end up in a fight with the cops, and arguing with the cops, or they always end up in an argument with someone on the street who says you can't film me, but they don't know the rules, they don't know the laws, they don't know the First Amendment, and the First Amendment auditors really get under people's skin, but they do provide a bit of
go do it, Bert.
Insight into the fact that people who are ignorant of stuff are so convinced of their ignorant opinion that you can't change their mind. That is a life's lesson that everyone should learn as early as possible. That people are convinced they're right by the weakest by the weakest means, and you can't talk them out of it. It's really sad. It's really sad to see that. It's against the law for you to film me. I didn't give my permission. Well, no, you heard that, but that's not true. You're on public street. I can film you all I want. And when you go out.
So our police chief, professionally, is like a really, really. I talked about this on the show the other guy. I like the guy a lot. He knew my dad. He knows me. He was always there. He was one of the first people there. One time when my dad had a medical emergency, he was the first person there that stayed with me when I shot myself with a nail gun. He did search and rescue for days on end when the town flooded. He's a former Marine, served with my brother-in-law. Hell of a guy. He and his lawyer claim that there's other circumstances that the city's not aware of. And they're waiting for the investigation so they can say that maybe he took cough medicine or something before or something like that. But apparently what happened, just the facts, is he came in one day, he was randomly picked. All the police officers are put in a pool, and just like a random drug test, they get a random alcohol screening. And that includes the supervisors. He's the chief of police. His name got pulled. He didn't decline. He didn't fuss. He didn't drag his feet. He just went on like regular with everybody else. And he had alcohol in his system. And technically he was on duty. It was when they first come in first thing in the morning. So I hope there's an excuse for it because he seems like a really good guy that's trying to do a good job. But you never know, man. Maybe he's got a lot going on in his life and he fucking turned to alcohol. It's happened before, especially to veterans.
You do these man on the street interviews, you usually get them to sign a waiver, especially if you're going to put them on national television. Because
oh yeah, when you saved Kay's life, he was the first person there. He was an EMT for years, so he loves running those calls and being the first person there. If he's close in his personal vehicle, in his work vehicle, or at his house, and he thinks he can make it there in time, he runs those calls all the times. He was there one time when my dad had a heart attack, helped me get him out of the house, waiting on the ambulance. He helped me get out the door when I could not, my knee was pinned open at just like a slight angle, like a slight bend to it with a nail behind my kneecap. He helped me get to the door.
National television,
he's a good guy.
FCC rules, which you have to follow. Websites don't. I don't have to get your permission to put it on the air if you want to talk to me in the public area. I don't need.
And I'm hard on cops, and I think he's one of the good ones. So I could be wrong. I don't know everything about the guy. It's just the encounters I've had with him always been professional, positive. Maybe he's a dick to everybody else. I don't know. But my personal encounters with him, and I've run into a lot of cops in this town that are on fucking power trips.
A release from you for that because we're in public area. I do if I want to go into a private space and film you. I have to get a release. So Red, White, and Blue says long audit is the best. I've watched that one. I believe that's a father and son. I think there's a father and son out there that they like to audit post offices.
I don't think that's Long Island.
Place, and they take a camera in there, and everybody loses their mind. You can't bring your camera in here. Yes, I can. They bring the cops in. The cops have no clue. Go get your supervisor. Supervisor comes down. He has to call his wife. Will you look it up on the internet for me? Let me know if people are allowed to do that. I mean, it's really sad. It's really sad that even the authorities don't know the rules for the most part. And so I have always told everybody in my audience that I love my country. I just don't trust my government. Because for the most part, by and large, in the main, and with exception, they don't know what they're doing. Just because they got elected or appointed to a position doesn't mean they're the end-all, be-all, most important brain in the room. That just isn't the case, especially with politicians. I mean, look what Tucker Carlson did to Ted Cruz the other night. Tucker Carlson took Ted Cruz to school. It was crazy. Cruz couldn't answer a question. And yet he's highly revered in the Republican Party. We all do. We all revere him.
We're going to skip ahead some.
Towards Israel because the Bible tells you to do it. And you haven't examined the fact that the people that are running the state of Israel are not actually Jews. They just call themselves Jews.
What are you supposed to call them? What did Kern or whoever that person was tell you to call them?
I'm not saying all the people, but the leader. And it's Janet, don't get me started yet. I'm not supposed to talk about that. I will tell you guys this much, okay? What I'm getting ready to be offered here, if this goes down, if it happens, and I'm hoping it does, I'm crossing my fingers and crossing your fingers for me.
Oh, that might have been her. Bert Lynch Truth. Are you still in here, or was it Bert Catpiss? Who said that the lady from Q Streaming was in his chat? Was the lady's name Janet? Because he just said, Janet, I'm not supposed to talk about that yet. But then he said, but what I'm about to have is about to be big. It's going to be huge, big. Do you think he put that this post that he's going to expose Phil and Brad to kind of bully Q streaming into working with him, or he thinks like he can put some muscle on him. Like, well, if you don't want me to expose this, you better come back with an offer. I can't believe you told me no.
That this is the real deal. And if it is, I'm going to have somebody very, very high up in the company come on my show and help me explain it to you guys. And we're going to do something that's going to be really exciting, not only for me, but for you guys too.
Oh, he's called this out so many times. If it is fucking Q streaming, he called it a pyramid scheme. He talked shit about Brad Barton and Phil Godlewski doing it. But now he was looking at fucking doing that? Damn it, dude.
Kathy says Ted Cruz was squirming in his chair. He was. And she says it was funny. It was funny, but it was also sad. It was also sad that for so long we thought Ted Cruz was really on his game. You know, for a long time, Ted Cruz was in the running to be president. If it hadn't been for Donald Trump, Ted Cruz probably would have been the nominee.
God damn. I can't even believe that there's a fucking timeline that I'm saying this in. Her name is Janet with the offer. Thank you. That makes sense. Janet, I'm not supposed to talk about that yet, but this is going to be huge. And now he's saying I'm going to expose them all because they were supposed to advertise with me. Now they're not. Bert, you don't know that you've got to sign. It's a pyramid. You sign people up under your code, and then they have to sign people up, and they sign people up, and they sign people up, and they sign people up. You talked about it, about how shitty it was, about how bad a company it was. We're going to have to go clip every time Bert Lynch has talked shit about Q streaming and have it ready for when he comes back for his next show, saying they were supposed to advertise with me and they're a good company, but they just ghosted me.
And boy, oh boy, we dodged a bullet. We're always dodging bullets here in this country. We're always just one step away from putting the wrong person into power. And sometimes we do put the wrong person in power. And then,
anyways, what I was going to say is Ted Cruz 100 times. Now that we know what a Trump administration looks like, 8 years of Ted Cruz instead of 4 years of Trump.
We have to work as a society, as conservatives. We have to work together like we did, like we showed up in mass to vote for Donald Trump, and we made it too big to rig. Because they did try to rig it. 100%, they tried to rig it.
Yeah, like he's got 8 people in chat, and the people that watch him, a lot of them already watch Brad Barton. So they either signed up with Brad Barton and are already in the pyramid, and he can't have them as customers, or they've already heard the pitch and decided no. What's up, Jamie? And decided no, I'm not doing that. So I don't understand. I don't understand how he thinks he's going to have any. What the fuck?
They did rig it in 2020. But anyway, I have rambled. I hope you guys are entertained by it. I'll go ahead and get to this clip. This first clip is Cash Patel and Bongino's resignation being covered by Steve Bannon. Now, Steve Bannon is a strong conservative voice. He was an advisor to Joanna 1950 is back. If you want me to give you away, I will. If you want me to mention it right now, I will. But I need you to tell me to do it. If you say go ahead and make some announcement, make a partial announcement, go ahead and say it. She's laughing. She's a really nice lady.
This dumb bitch. I was just looking over here at. So Kate P45 on Twitter shares a leading report tweet that says Omar Feta is running for Minneapolis mayor to raise the minimum wage by over $4 over the next few years, freeze rent, and Trump-proof the city. And Kate says, we need to pass a law that only American-born can serve in government. This is getting out of control. First of all, that's racist, and no, we don't need to pass that. We need to vote for... There's a reason that the president has to be a naturalized citizen, right? The president. But nobody else. Second of all, this guy was born in Washington, D.C. God damn, these people are dumb. Omar Feta was born in D.C. What would passing a law that American-born can serve in government, what would that do?
So, Bert, go ahead and talk about it. If I do talk about it and it doesn't happen, I'm going to be critical as hell. Oh, jeez. All right, come on. I've had no Diet Coke today, so no caffeine. I'm in a weird mood. Let's wait 2 days.
Charlie Kirk did it too. He shared a video of him and says, you need to watch this video and then commit to stopping all third world immigration to America. The guy was born in D.C.
Ooh, let's wait 2 days. So can I tell them that I won't tell them who you are, but this lady is.
Oh, he's going to talk about it. Give me just a second. Let me show you this. because I was talking about my ADHD kicked in. Omar Feta. Birth country, United States. Birth city, Washington, D.C. He's a first-generation American. His parents immigrated from Somalia. God damn, dude. That's fucked up. Charlie Kirk shares it too. Just because he wants to raise the minimum wage, freeze rent or slow rent, I don't know what. I'm just taking their words for it. And Trump for the city. Let's listen before Bert talks.
Everyone keeps asking me, Omar, why aren't you doing more videos? As a state senator with a second full-time job and a kid on the way, I just haven't been able to find the time. I've also been fighting for you, passing things like tuition-free college for working-class families, rideshare protections for our Uber and Lyft drivers, and the legalization of fentanyl testing strips. But this summer, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, because we deserve nice things in Minneapolis too. To make an affordable Minneapolis that works for everyone, we need a mayor that works as hard as you do. I'm ready to work hard too. 1, build a Minneapolis that working people can afford to call home. 2, protect our city from a hostile White House. 3, diversify our city's public safety response. By increasing the minimum wage to $20 by 2028 and passing rent stabilization.
$20 by 2028 and rent stabilization, not a rent freeze.
Stop price gouging and incentivizing new construction. We can protect workers. Protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not. Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump.
I mean, you might not agree with these policies, but obviously they did well in New York City. They'll probably do well in Minneapolis if this guy has any kind of push behind him. But just because he's brown, to say, oh, he shouldn't be allowed to run, only people born in America. He was born in America.
And say, no, not in our community.
And isn't it their decision? Shouldn't the people in Minneapolis decide, not Charlie Kirk or Kate or whoever the fuck else?
Did you know that the city's own data showed that 47% of calls to MPD can be diverted to non-police response? Cops aren't social workers. Investments in programs like these... All
right, anyways, let's hear Bert talk about the deal he's not getting now.
The person that's making this offer to me. Now you're going to get all kinds of text messages. Stay away from that guy. Stay away from that guy. I promise you. Let's wait 2 days. Ooh, let's wait 2 days. So can I tell them that I won't tell them who you are, but this lady is the person that's making this offer to me. Now you're going to get all kinds of text messages. Stay away from that guy. Stay away from that guy. I promise you that's coming. I told you about that yesterday. As a matter of fact, she was the reason.
And then Bert's going to lose his fucking mind because you're not advertising with him, by the way.
My show started late last night, by the way, you guys. Okay?
That's true. Oh, she's the reason the show started late the night before. And he said the reason it started late is because he's working on his business deal. And now it's not coming, and he's mad at the company. This is why companies should never consider working with Bert, right? Because let's say you have a valid, genuine offer, and you're thinking, hey, let's see if this works. Let me run the number. Let me do this. But I wanted to reach out to you and tell you we may be interested. And then for some reason, either you can't do it, or you can't do it as long as you want to, or you can't pay him as much. Then he's going to go on a press tour telling everybody how horrible you are and leaking private messages allegedly you shared with him. He says it right here. I'm going to blow the whistle on the people that claimed they were going to advertise on my show, and I'm going to expose what they told me about Brad Barton and Phil Godlewski and let the chips fall where they may. So stay tuned, folks. Please put in the comments if you want me to go live tonight or just handle this tomorrow. Pray for me, friends. He's going to expose Q-String, or he'll probably just say, I can't imagine they said anything too horrible about those two people because those are obviously their biggest sellers, but they might have said how much money they make or like a ballpark figure, maybe.
She's saying get happy. Okay, I know that you've talked to somebody if you're saying that to me. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be really good news. For all of you that have been with me for the last 3 years, this is the one. This is what was supposed to happen 3 years ago with that other company on steroids. Yeah, and the quitters, the one that bailed out, now they're going to be so disappointed that they quit. Janet says, and Janet, well, she already told me my name's Janet. Janet doesn't get scared off. I can tell you right now that there's one person, at least one person, if they're watching my show, who knows who you are. Watch the logo while Daddy blows his nose.
I told him that we got approved for the grant, and like in a month and a half, we'll be getting checks again, Mariah, so we won't need as many donations and support, hopefully. One thing I'm super glad for, it sucks every time I look at my bank account, but I am so glad that before the storm, the show was doing well. I was able to make some money. Our expenses were managed, and we had money in savings because we blew through all of it like a month ago. And we've been living off what we get by on, the donations that you guys send, and getting by. And hopefully it'll just be like another month and a half, and we'll have checks coming in again. Because we have not worked since September. The day after the flood, so on September 28th, everybody was laid off. And I haven't received a check since. I got paid that day, and that was it.
I'm back. Now, thanks, Kimber.
But again, I'm not lying about telling you guys I've been working at the campground. Well, you guys have seen the videos. I've been working at the campground, but I've been working, I don't want to say for free because I'm not paying rent right now, and I'm not paying my electric bill right now. The owner of the campground is covering that, and I'm trying to do everything I can to be beneficial to the campground until we get to the point where we're getting paid again.
For teasing. Right, folks, I think I'll get one. I'm out. I have been on here now for 45 minutes or more. Yeah, 45 minutes. And I haven't once mentioned that we do have, I'm just going to bring it up for you. Let's go here.
What we have?
And to show you that we do have the Byrd.com website is back up, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my God. It's back up.
Right there it is. And if you can tonight, it's really important because until this new thing with Janet kicks in.
It was all this new thing with Janet. Till this new thing with Janet kicks in, sure. It was always up for me. The thing that was down was his shop, the store. The store had no products in it. You could go to BertLynch.com, but when you clicked on store, it just said unavailable. But it seems to be working now.
And it could be 60 days or more before I actually start seeing an income from it. And I'm up here in front of you guys, sorry. And so until then, I still am at the mercy of my audience. And I know that I criticized earlier because you folks haven't been making donations. I know that nobody's, like Brad said, his audience, you can't afford to invest in this. Just stop calling me. Well, I'm not saying that to you. You can't afford to invest in this. I just need $10. Send me $10 tonight. You can use the donate button on the website. It is working. The best thing to do is to do it through Zelle or PayPal because it's a weekend. I won't see that donation that goes to BertLynch.com, donate to Bert's Live Podcast. I won't see that till Tuesday because of the weekends and the way the banks work. But if you send it through Zelle,
and he has to rush to take it out of that account and move it to a friend's account so it doesn't get garnished.
PayPal, just use my
so there's that.
At BertLynch.com. And when I tell you that $20 makes a huge difference, it really does. I mean, I'm still trying to catch up with all the bills that are due.
Asian Donnie Osmond, yeah. Rough.
I need to raise, a lot more than $20, but $20 helps because I literally live off of what I'm making on this podcast right now. So if you can Zelle to Bert at BertLynch.com or PayPal, it's greatly appreciated. You're helping me keep this podcast going. And when you see what is going to happen in the next few weeks, you're going to...
I think this is my last go around with the VA. If I don't get it this time, I'm going to hire a company just to handle it. I can't. Mentally, I can't keep doing it.
The store is still not open. I've got to make another payment to my website people.
Driving me crazy.
And so right now there's no merchandise. I've reached out to some of my regular folks and everyone's saying that you need to get it from your audience because I'm tired of giving you money. Okay, I understand.
I've reached out to my regular folks and they said, get it from your audience. I'm tired of giving you money. Who's he been bumming off regularly? I wonder.
Another payment to my website people before the store gets open. So right now there's no merchandise. I've reached out to some of my regular folks and everyone's saying that you need to get it from your audience because I'm tired of giving you money. Okay, I understand. Here you see me asking. So folks, if you can make a $10
You've got to be careful with Bert here though, because when I was in contact with people that were actually funding his show, they were actually financing his show, getting ready. By the way, support me all you want. It fucking pisses Bert off at coldbeer.fund. But when I was in contact with the people that were actually funding his show, that were buying him equipment, that were doing those things, they became aware after they stopped fucking with Bert that he was asking multiple people for the same thing. He would say, like, I got to have, this piece of equipment. And he would tell 3 different people. One person would buy it and the other 2 would donate money, all for the same thing. So.
Donation tonight, and if 10 of you do it, it's $100. And we start fixing some problems around here. I promise you that.
I've got a VSO. There's only so much a VSO can do. They help. They try to help you word it. They try to help you fill it out. VSO is just any veteran service organization. And I've got a good one. Remedical, the difference in it is it's expensive. But like they have their own doctors that specialize specifically in fighting the VA. You go to their doctor's appointment, you get their paperwork, you get everything done there, and then you turn it over to the VA. That way I don't get like that first therapist I had back in February or whatever, who had no idea about my case, no idea about my history. Uh-oh.
Eggs just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you very much for the gifted sub. That goes out to you, Bert.
That I am going to reinvest the money that I earn, even when I get with this new project, in improving the show. Everything that I'm doing now is going to grow exponentially, depending on the funds. As you can see here, this is my original studio.
Grow exponentially. I'm going to expose the people that were supposed to be supporting me.
looking at it right now. This was in my house up until a year and a half ago. I had to tear all of this out, and they only gave me 3 hours. Can you believe it?
Thanks for the idea, though. Not sure.
Place, plus the whole house. Their shadow. That was about a year and a half ago. He was about a year and a half old then. He hasn't changed a bit. But we had this beautiful studio set up where I could have guests in the studio. There you can see there. That was when we first started.
Thank you, fake runny eggs.
There was my guest chair, and then my other chair was over there. All of that.
I think everybody just likes saying your name.
In a storage unit. But this was the seat where my guest would sit, and I would sit over there, and I could interview him back and forth. And this entire room over here was for live music. Now that's coming back. I have the ability to set all that up as soon as I can rent.
I had Itsuko here in for a live interview. Remember Itsuko? Camera and everything.
Space. And with this new project that we're about to launch, that's going to happen. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen. It will be part of the actual expansion that we're getting ready to do. And I can't get into that any more than I have. But what I can tell you is this is going to be very, very profitable for you guys and for me, because the product that I'm going to be
in my tiny little office
is something that you will benefit from. And I promise you, you're going to want it. And that's all I can really say about it.
My doctor told me there is no question whatsoever. You qualify 100%. You probably qualified for 100% for the last fucking 15 years. But you didn't put in for it. But she also told me right now under the current administration that ratings are tougher. She's not saying for sure that it came from the Trump administration, but 2 different therapists have told me that ratings are a lot tougher right now. And it would help. A couple things that would help. If I was over 40, closer to 50, that would help. If I got arrested and if I had some overnight stays for mental health treatments, which I really, really don't want to do, but
right now. Kimber's asking about the Chrisleys. I haven't covered the Chrisleys since they got out of prison. They've got their own reality show going, and they've got funding, and they've been given pardons. They don't have to repay the money that they supposedly. And I don't believe all the stories about them anyway, as far as the negative stuff, because I know what it's like to be a podcaster that's constantly under attack.
She didn't. I want to be clear. My therapist didn't suggest I get arrested, technically, but that's what I read between the lines. Because I've had lots of run-ins with cops, but most of them, it's always like somebody I know or a guy that I served with came in and saved me one time when my family tried to pull an intervention on me and get me killed. He was a deputy. I've got a lot of runs in with the cops, but they're not like arrested and fucking thrown in for 24 hours and go to court and all that. It's more like a stern talking to and then let me go because it's been cops that I know. Thank God I haven't been shot yet.
And I've also been a part of a reality show.
By a cop.
If you want to see the reality show that they shot in my bar about me, the 10-minute trailer is on. I played it here on the show before, but the 10-minute trailer is on YouTube. It's called Bert Lynch.
Just resubscribed for 17 months.
Look out.
Bert.
That's for you, Bart. Rusty Rifle said that one for you. Thank you.
Trailer, 10 minutes long, and it's a reality show they shot in my bar. It did not air. It did not air. It was shot back in 2004, and that's right when the reality shows were just coming in. And Las Vegas picked. I played it here on the show before. So as far as the negative stuff, because I know what it's like to be a podcaster that's constantly under attack, and I've also been a part of a reality show.
Constantly under attack all the time.
If you want to see the reality show that they shot in my bar about me, the 10-minute trailer is on. I played it here on the show before, but the 10-minute trailer is on YouTube. It's called Bert Lynch, Norma Jean's trailer, 10 minutes long, and it's a reality show they shot in my bar. It did not air. It did not air. It was shot back in 2004, and that's right when the reality shows were just coming in. And Las Vegas picked a different show as their first one, and that was called Pawn Stars. And so I have had some experience in the reality show.
You got beat out by Pawn Stars. Don't it always happen like that?
Yeah, I've had a lot of experience in movies and television. And so when I tell you that something is getting ready to happen, it's going to be very exciting. I just got to stay alive.
How Gen X are getting their teenage bodies back.
So this is my mom and this is my grandma. I recently
He seems like one of those guys that would be on that show Bar Rescue, and the guy just yells at him a bunch because he doesn't ever fucking show up.
Cackrafter just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you very much for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Cackrafter. 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 You're that old cackrafter. Oh, thank you very much for the gifted sub. That's for you, Bart. By the way, it is on YouTube. It's called Norma Jean's TV trailer. Guess how trailer spelled? Chat, guess how trailer is spelled? Norma Jean's TV trailer. Guess how trailer is spelled? Jane, you ignorant slut. T-R-A-L-E-R. It says, Bert Lynch's Las Vegas bar named Norma Jean's reality show test trailer. The producers shot 12 episodes, but the show never aired. They shot all 12 episodes and they never aired anything, not even the trailer. It seems like they would shoot the pilot, the trailer, and if they're going to go, they're going to go, but let's see it. There it is for everybody. Trailer. January 9th, 2004. For promotional use, taped live at Norma Jean's, edited for preview only, TRT, 10 minutes. Total runtime. Jane, you ignorant slut. That's actually Dwight, you ignorant slut, is from The Office. Oh, God. Is Bert already singing?
How we doing?
Oh, my God.
Welcome to Norma Jean's. Come on in.
Hey, I'm walking over here. What the fuck is this guy? And dead up to his eyeballs, thinking he's a fucking winner. Hey, I'm walking over here. You see the chain? That means I'm walking. Uh-oh.
But the big one...
Fucked up. Hold on.
How we doing? Welcome to Norma Jean's. Come on in.
He makes me feel creepy just saying, how we doing?
How we doing? Fantastic. Good.
Ooh, why is his arm so long? It look like a fucking insect.
Fast boys, what you gonna do?
Look at him. Bert, where the fuck did your chin go? Looks like your neck ate it. The fuck is this? You should grow a beard. Oh my God. No wonder you don't have any shots from the side. It's like a ball sack. All the testicles are removed.
370 just gifted 5 subs.
Damn it. 5 gifted subs. Thank you very, very much. That's for you, Bert. They're gifted subs just for you. They want everybody to be subs. Thank you.
Well, you know, you have to keep the bar running, and that's the longest part of the day. Is keeping the bar running, making sure that we got stock and that there's change so we can operate with, and making sure the staff is
making sure we have stock, making sure they have change in case somebody pays cash.
Here and doing their job, which they pretty much take care of themselves.
Make sure the employees show. Yeah, this is much more interesting than Pawn Stars. So people have to show up to work, and if people pay cash, they need change. And we got to have alcohol to sell to the people because we're a bar. You know, there's a lot to do in a day.
Those are pretty good. I mean, it's a little early. The show starts in about an hour and a half.
My name is Rob Hazard. I'm a drummer. Just moved in from the East Coast.
The Bert Lynch Band.
New York City area. And I've been here for about 2 months now. And this friend of mine actually mentioned Norma Jean's to me one night, and I said, I'll check it out. You know, so I went down Norma Jean's, and you know, I was just sitting here hanging out. And during one of the breaks,
I would like to check everybody in this and see how much more successful they are than Bert currently.
The keyboard player came over and said, "Is your name Scratch?" And I said, "No, it's Rob. I'm a drummer." You know, and he said, "Oh, that's cool." And so we talked for about, I don't know, the whole break, you know, basically. And you know, later on that night, the singer, you know, I later found out his name was Bert. Bert Lynch, he said, "I hear there's a drummer in the house." And I said, "Oh, that would be me." You know, 3 vodkas later, you know, I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you want to sit in?" I said, "Sure, why not?" Never, ever pass up the opportunity to sit in with a band. They were hot, too. I was like, this is great. You know, play here at Norma Jean's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Have the time of my life.
Did he tell you that he was in the Air Force choir?
And that's it.
Hi, I'm Krista. Welcome to Norma Jean's.
Bro, look at this. Look at this shaky ass camera. You're telling me a professional production company shot this? And it wasn't just you with the camera?
Welcome to Normandy.
Look at this. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Let me just walk over here.
How you feeling, buddy?
There's nothing interesting in this entire thing.
You ready to rock and roll? Man, you should have seen acoustic night last night. It went really well. Oh, man. 2 nights in a row was standing room only.
James Stone, bass player. And I sing high harmony. I like to sing. This is a good place to show it. This is a lively bar, and it's energetic. It's got a lot of theme to it, a lot of atmosphere. So the people are enjoying it here, and the band is at least doing stuff that's energetic and has some quality. Everybody sings, and there's energy, and so it's fun to do. It's fun to be here and play this. Some of these songs we do have a lot of acapella.
Oh, 4 titties hit different. That is true. Thank you very much, Autumn. I appreciate it. That's for you, Bert. This was shot in 2004. They just all still live in the 80s.
Stuff where we just sing alone, without the music. Maybe a cowbell.
Oh, Pedo Paul interviewed went well, I guess.
Good evening. What's happening, man? Ready to play tonight. All right, that's what we like to hear. Had a good
This does not seem like a professional. This seems like some kids made it for their fucking class project or some shit. Very normal jeans, not Norma Jean. You're right. He invested it all on Black Rock, but it landed on Red Rock. It does look like someone taped this themselves and perhaps sent it to the Discovery Channel or whatever, History Channel, whatever it may be. Made the rounds. I could believe that. And they're like, oh, we're thinking about it, I've seen like shitty cell phone camera shaking and bad audio things that were like the pilots that were sent in for like the Discovery Channel shows, the History Channel shows. But the way he says it is the production company came out because they wanted to do, he didn't submit it. They wanted him to be a show. And this was their very first pilot episode. This does not look like that. The audio's so bad, dude.
She was running from a fat man till salvation is here.
So literally 5 minutes of it is just him singing. Where's the reality show part of it? Well, you got change, and you got employees, and you got to have alcohol for the employees to sell to make change. Acoustic night. Thank God.
Right, 1, 2, check that's a little stronger, that's a little better. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
He can sing better than me. That's all I give him. What's up, Bets?
How's young?
Long time no see. Hope you're doing good.
To Vegas. But soon the years rolled by, turning life a page. Facing the mirror, looked twice her age. She had enough cash, could reset the stage.
I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying.
To my
Uh-oh.
Anonymous gifted Betsmo a subscription. An anonymous user gifted a tier 1
That is
sub
true,
to
you idiot.
Betsmo.
Thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Everyone can sing better than me. Unless you needed a really nasally country singer. It's like, it reminds me of one of those shows where they're like, do it again, but do it like 300% over the top. They make it look ridiculous. You're trying so hard.
Thanks, everybody. It's time to go to the bar and get something cold. That's a wrap.
So then it's like 5 minutes of them just kissing. No production company made this. You're a fucking liar. Or you had way too much input in how it was made.
That's a wrap.
Bert got a hooker? And drove over the curb. A Lou Fox Burt Lynch product. I thought the production company wanted you, Bert. The production company from the History Channel wanted you. It looks more like you and your buddy started a production company and tried to submit, just like I said earlier. You fucking lying piece of shit. The Burt Lynch's Las Vegas bar, Norman Jean's reality show test trailer. The producers shot 12 episodes, but the show never aired. What was the storyline, dude? That a bar exists and you sing at it sometimes? I've seen porno shot better from the 70s. Wow.
That's just the truth. Who did you have for guests and can we watch those shows? You can. You can go to the archives in Rumble and go all the way back to my first shows. Even some of the shows that were on Facebook are archived. You just go back 2 years and start digging through.
Bert used to have me as a guest.
I don't have the actual, but I've had all kinds of guests on the show. And we've had, I won't get into who they were, but the ultimate goal for me was always to interview the entertainers. Janet's leaving. She says, "Good night, everyone. Help Bert out tonight." And I'll talk to you on Monday, Bert. Thank you, Janet. I wish I could tell you guys more. I really do.
I wish I could. She didn't.
And Janet,
she couldn't even tell you more. You didn't get it. Monday. What's today, chat? Do you remember what today is? The same day that this post was made on? I'm going to blow the whistle on the people that claimed they were going to advertise on my show, and I'm going to expose what they told me about Brad Barton and Phil Godlewski and let the chips fall where they may. Imagine this is the first real sponsor that's ever reach out to him. Now, what is a future sponsor going to think? Let's say he does get some audience. And he does have a few hundred people chatting in his show. What's a future sponsor going to think before they reach out to him?
All right. So now, if you guys can make a donation, I really appreciate it. Let me get rid of that and go back to this first article I was going to cover. This is Steve Bannon.
Bert's drinking sink water because he can't afford his Diet Coke. Give him some money, guys. What about a Royal Crown, Bert? Little RC action?
And he's talking about Cash Patel and Bongino on this happened today, actually.
I want to be clear. Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, so breaking news. Ukraine, right? You agree that this move process
until say that clip because I agree with it, and I've said it before, and then someone else is saying it, so I'm going to share that with you. But yes, it was hard to get Cash Patel approved. However, getting Cash Patel, somebody to replace Cash Patel and somebody to replace Pam Bondi, starting in August, will be different than it was back in November because Trump can appoint them without Congress. Because if Congress is in recession, is in recess, he can appoint them without Congress. And I'm beginning to think that was the plan all along. I think that Pam Bondi's going to fall on her sword. But she's not going to do it until she'll do it in 2 weeks, as soon as Congress takes a recess. And then whoever Trump appoints for AG, and I kind of think I know who that's going to be. I think it's going to be Matt Gaetz. And I think that they ran it up the flagpole that it might be the governor of Florida. But I think that that's just kind of a distraction because he wanted Matt Gaetz originally for that job, and he couldn't get him approved. So in August, he can just appoint it to him. So it looks to me like Pam Bondi's been auditioning to be on Fox News for the last 6 months anyway, and I think that's where she really wants to be. And LaPel says Trump can appoint Matt. That's right. He can just appoint him without the Congress. And he also can appoint another FBI director. So I think that Bongino's kind of wishing he had stayed where he was. Bongino on both statements. Placeholder all along. See, M. Murphy is on the right track. I think that Bongoni, bingo.
Bongoni.
Thank you.
The musician Bongoni, you got him.
That's what I told you guys the other day. I said something about this isn't right. There's got to be a chess game is going on while we're playing checkers, and that's the chess game. I don't think they ever intended to keep Pam Bondi there. And quite honestly, as I told
he can do recess appointments, but what happens is that the appointment expires at the end of the Senate's next session, so it's not like it's not permanent. He appoints them, then Congress comes back to session, Senate comes back to session. At the end of their next session, if they haven't been approved, then it goes away, and he'll have to appoint somebody else.
Told you guys I'm a big fan of hers. We're from Tampa. She's from Tampa, so am I. We went to the same elementary school at the same time. I did not know her. She would have been in the first grade when I was in the 6th grade. But I do know that we went to that school at the same time. And so I've been a fan of hers before she ever became the AG of the United States, because she was the AG of Florida. And I always thought she was smart. She had a lot to do with some of the other things that happened in the past. I could post some of them, but I'd have to go looking for them. And as a guest, well, maybe you didn't watch them all, but I had more. Patriot Mike was on my show, but he was on remotely. And I had some other people on remotely, not necessarily in studio. And
I don't think he had hardly anybody in the studio.
I remember you having Dan as a guest. Well, maybe you didn't watch them all, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's where she's going. Carol Watson says, I only remember you having Dan as a guest. Well, maybe you didn't watch them all, but I had more. Patriot Mike was on my show, but he was on remotely. And I had some other people on remotely, not necessarily in studio. And I could post some of them, but I'd have to go looking for them. Very nice. I just got a promise of a donation by someone that I know will donate.
Amazing.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Carol Watson, 7575. I haven't seen you on here in a long time, but
fuck Bert. He's gonna expose the only sponsors ever reach out to him.
Something's been come up here fucking these goddamn goats. We've been all around this goddamn place and we ain't found nothing. That's why I think it's Scott.
What?
Something's been come up here fucking these goddamn goats. We've been all around this goddamn place and we ain't found nothing. That's why I think it's Scott.
Well, that was weird.
Hey DJ Soulchild, I know I said in my last video that I didn't know who you were, but thanks to my comment section, now I do. Patrick Genty, you like to beat kids. You like to break the bones of a 3-month-old. You're a fucking convicted child abuser. Convicted, not accused, fucking guilty. You broke the bones of a 3-month-old, and you were convicted of it. And you had the balls to say this?
This guy literally resisted arrest. That's why he got locked up.
Brother, I went to jail because of a probation violation. Because I owed some money and I missed an appointment. You went to prison for beating the shit out of a 3-month-old. Hey, bro, you have no moral ground to stand on whatsoever. I think it's wild that you got 1 million followers after you did this. Because like y'all coming after me like I can't be on.
What's the response to this? I don't know this guy at all. I don't know what he's talking about, but is this a response?
Child, I know I said in my last video that I didn't know who you were, but thanks to my comment section, now I do.
Didn't you post that weak ass shit like 4 years ago? And you using the same rehash you tried to cancel me for 4 years ago? You kidding me? I got all custody of my children, honey boo. All of them. Ain't beating no damn kids. I got charged for something I didn't do. You know what you did? You sat here and said you would throw a disabled person off a cliff to save money. You sat here and said a black man deserved to get unalived because he resisted arrest while you resisted arrest. Wasn't you the same one out here giving dome the guard so you can get out early from jail? And you talk about me?
That rumor has made the rounds about the guard. All of his comments are about blowing guards now.
Last time I ever got arrested was 10 years ago. When's the last time you got arrested? How many charges you got? At least I don't go behind the wheel sipping. I've been sober 3 years and ain't never drunk and drive in my life. Sitting here using the same rehash that every other conservative uses. At least I'm out here trying to fight them damn charges that I should have never pled guilty to because of my innocence. You ain't innocent for nothing. You one of the worst people ever on this app. All you do is dox women and children. All you do is dox veterans. And you talking about me? Mercedes and them other on the Unfucked America tour might kiss your ass if they see you in person, but I swear before God, if me and you ever met in person, my boy, it would be on and popping. I promise you that. Now go ahead and talk about my charges in the next 5 videos. Or said you want to address the fact that you want disabled people to die. Man, SMD.
So if you don't know, Bunny's child had a self-harm incident and ended up in the hospital. That's why I really haven't showed some of her stuff. She's the one going after the older millennial. Not really as much the older millennial as his co-op. That seems to be a scam. So.
See, here's the difference between you and I, is I was pulling views well before you ever existed. The only time that you pull views is when you're talking about the older millennial or the MCU. You know that your entire profile, your entire existence on the Creator Fund, which I have no doubt that you're a part of, is dependent on the older millennial and talking about him and talking about the MCU.
Well, hey there, big dog. Let's just take a look and see what we see. We got this top video right here. That's 973,900 right there. And then, of course, you know, we've got the older millennials warrant video here. And then we come over here, and that's 420,000. And then we got 235,000 right here. And then we got a little older millennial. Hold on. Let's just scroll through real quick. So let's just take a little look at my scroll. Of course, I got those phone records I'm getting ready to release. And then here I got, what is that? Almost 1 million. That's not related. Those two aren't related. Keep scrolling on down. I already showed you all of those. We got another one was that 36,000. We got 300,000, 400,000. Those aren't related to Joe. Keep scrolling on down. We got, what is that? Another 45,000. That's not related to Joe. Down here, we got another 40 something. Oh,
you get views. What else?
Got some 4,000s. Oh, wait, what is that? That's sharing this information with Joe. Is that your motivation? You think that I'm trying to make my money off the back of him? Because it looks to me like I've been platformed long before the older millennial came along. Wouldn't you say? I'll let you just keep on scrolling through. Bless your stupid little heart.
It does suck that her daughter tried to hurt herself. She thinks it's because of threats that people that support older millennial had been searching her daughter up and sending them threats about it and a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Did Nick Fuentes called
the difference between you and I.
Candace Owens a race mixer?
Donald Trump won't release the Epstein list because it's the only leverage he has to stay in power. He knows that it's the only thing he has over the heads of all of those people who are in positions to back off and allow him to hold on to his power. And the moment that goes away, so does he. And those people cower to him because they know that the moment it comes out, their power goes away too. Donald Trump won't release the Epstein list because it's the only leverage he has to stay in power. He knows that it's...
Someone said, I'm perfectly fine with him using it in that way, but he still needs to release it because they need to be prosecuted. What?
Oh, DUI on probation?
Wow.
My fellow conservative parents, this is really who you want as a role model for your young adults. Somebody with 2 DUI convictions that's at a summit with a bunch of 20-year-olds drinking, ran from the cops, had to be tased. That's who you want as your role model? No wonder the GOP is dying. I'd like to address a video I just received.
There's a creator on TikTok that is doxing my other children. Apparently what happened to my youngest child was not enough for him.
From another creator. There's a creator on here who downloaded the docket of a sealed court case for my 2 oldest children. He is now attempting to dox those children by publicly posting those court documents. He's doing this in an effort to gain clicks and likes on his videos because up until he started posting about me, his videos got less than 1,000 views. He's attempting to capitalize on my daughter's self-harm attempt. He's attempting to capitalize on the names of my children because he has no conscience. It's disgusting. I'm not going to respond to his accusations because the reality is he has the entire court record. He knows that he's not giving you the full story. He's manipulating the information to shed me in the worst light possible, and he's attempting to cause harm to my children.
I was provided with his name, his IP address, and his handle, and that has now been provided to the detectives who are working on my daughter's case. I will not respond to him at this time. There will be a time when everything is settled down where I will show the full court case. This is not that time. Just be aware that if any harm comes to my other 2 children, he will be the prime suspect. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'd like to address a video I just received from another.
The Epstein.
Nope.
Everybody, I know you guys have been patient.
And then that was it. She did an update on her daughter, saying her daughter was in stable condition, kind of deal. Wish her well. Hope everything works out with that. I don't do kids. I don't make fun of people's kids. I don't try to bring kids into it. I will call somebody out for not doing their job, like taking care of their kids, protecting their kids, having their kids somewhere where they shouldn't be, around people they shouldn't be, but not physically say like your kid's fat or ugly or something stupid like that. That's insane. Their kids, they don't get to pick who their parents are, even when their parents are some of the biggest shitheads on the internet. It's not their fault, right? They can't change who their parents are. Let's see what else we got. Let's see where Charlie Kirk stands on the Epstein files now that he spoke to Trump.
Plenty was said this last weekend at our event about Epstein. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine.
He's done talking about it. Done. That was it. He's done. Never again. Wild. And how does somebody get sucked into this? This person was probably wealthy, but like I grew up in
I'm Caroline.
I think she says she's wealthy. Her family was. I grew up in bumfuck Tennessee, super red, super white, super religious. I'm a straight white male. I was an athlete, a college athlete, went into the military. So it was easy for me to get sucked into the right-wing narrative, I guess, right? Because none of it really affected me. And it was easy just to repeat the things that I had heard my whole life. They're taking our jobs, or we got to do this, we got to do that, or been in church, so abortion's murder, you're killing a baby. It was easy for me just to repeat those things. I'm glad I finally woke up, and that's what her story is as well here. Let's back it up.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I used to work for Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. I grew up in like rural conservative bubble in the suburbs of Houston. My family was conservative, so I just grew up surrounded by conservative politics. And as a privileged white woman in the conservative bubble, I was never forced to confront politics and really think for myself about what I believed in. So when I was 17 and I met Charlie Kirk and he talked about limited government and fiscal responsibility, it just made sense for me. And so from there, I ended up working for Turning Point full-time for part of it during the first Trump election. And a lot of what I did was writing articles specifically designed to scare people and garner traffic and really just ratchet up the intensity of the political moment. And at the time, I thought that I was saving America. I really thought that this was the end-all be-all, and that if we did not fight for these conservative values, America was going to fall apart, and Hillary Clinton was going to ruin the world, and the deep state, I was even mentor at the time. But
yes, the House Republicans blocked the Democrats' measure, I guess, to release the Epstein files unredacted. The Democrats came forward and said, hey, it was Ro Khanna, right? I can't remember. I know that he spoke. I don't remember who submitted it. But he was like, hey, release, and the Republicans voted against it.
Basically, like the liberal, like media liberal elite is going to take over the world. And I genuinely believe that. I really did. But then in college, I was studying political science and I started to learn how the world actually works. I started to learn about governance, about the importance of government and what the government can do. And a lot of conservative
I
politics
still have my bear too, Betsmo.
stuff just started to not make as much sense to me. I started to really question what I believed. And that was so scary because in the place where I was at, your political view was like, number one, synonymous with your faith. It was like you almost worshipped politics and your political stance. It was so extreme that for me to question my political views was akin to having a crisis of faith. But I did have that crisis of faith. And the more I unraveled it, the more I realized the conservative politics just did not make sense to me, that I thought it was unethical, that the right wing was getting more and more extreme by the day, and that I was not comfortable with it. So that's when I pretty much quit Turning Point. And I said, this is not okay. What is being done to the electorate is not okay. But I was scared and I was confused. And so it took me a really long time to really figure out what I believed. And now, the second Trump administration, I can't not talk about it. And so I want to share my experiences as somebody who used to be super conservative, who is now involved in liberal politics in small town Texas, and talk about how important it is for, if you are claiming a political party or political ideology, to really understand what it is you're talking about and what it is you're championing. So stick around. I'll be sharing some of my stories from Turning Point, as well as hopefully connecting with people who...
I think this would be a fun account to follow. I need to follow. Make sure I'm following it.
Formerly conservative. Maybe
From Inside TP USA.
thinking about it, really hoping to do some good in this dark time.
So Representative Virginia Fox, who is the head, the chair of the Rules Committee, voted against it, of releasing the Epstein file, or even bringing it to a vote. What he wanted to do is bring it to a vote. Everybody vote to release them. She said, I think most of us believe what's appropriate will be released when it's time for the president to release it. And that was her only statement. Fuck these people, dude. Release all of it. Right? Redact victims' names and pictures, and that's it. Release the rest of it. We'll figure it out. Well, there could be fake stuff in it. Sure. We'll figure it out. Release it. Fuckers. There's so many people turning on Trump over this. Let me play this clip before I forget it. I like when people clip the show. It helps me because people see it, and I can use them for TikTok videos and shit. Bert. That. And then Bert. That. And then the Bert. Look out. What else we got? Bert. I do think everybody should be talking about this. Every person on God's green earth, everybody on Al Gore's fucking internet should be talking about this right here.
Hey, so I just need you guys to know that JD Vance runs like this.
Watch him. Watch him run. JD Vance holds his hands like this when he runs. He's one heartbeat away from being in charge of the most powerful country in the world, and he holds his hands like this when he runs. What the fuck, dude? What have we done? We're bringing back masculinity. It's okay to be a man. It's okay to run and hold your purse with your other hand. The fuck? Next thing you know, they'll be wanting to elect a woman. We all know about that. Other Republicans?
Who is rolling this? Pam Bondi needs to be fired. Who is rolling this out? The little rascals?
Pam Bondi has definitely made multiple inconsistent statements, and I'm sorry, but she does not deserve the benefit of my good opinion, and I'm not prepared to give it to her.
They're covering up. The DOJ, the current DOJ under Pam Bondi is covering up crimes. Very serious crimes by their own description. Why are they doing that?
Is she stupid? Is she so click thirsty that she got out over her skis trying to make news, being a Fox News star? It's either that or she's a liar.
People are absolutely not going to accept just a memo that was written that says there is no client list.
It's not about just a pedophile ring and all that. This is about who governs us, right? For this to go away, you're going to lose 10% of the MAGA movement. If we lose 10% of the MAGA movement right now, we're going to lose 40 seats in 26.
That is, I think, what is enraging people right now is it's insulting.
We can't let this go away. This has to be a topic at midterms.
our intelligence. Like, obviously the intelligence community is trying to cover it up.
My name is Pam Blondie, and I'm the Attorney General of the United States. But I'm Pam Blondie, the best Attorney General you've ever seen in this country, and I'm going to hold these people accountable.
And Pam Bondi brought me to the White House and handed me a stack of papers. And I got to tell you, folks, it was about as valuable as a bunch of blank pages. It was baloney. It was a binder of absolute baloney. And Pam, if you can't do your job, we'll find someone who will.
There's no client list. Never existed. Pam Bondi just lied and said she had one. What?
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
But Charlie Kirk, so this was all this weekend. Trump called and talked to him. Now he's done talking about it. We just saw the clip, right? Where this is how many people screamed. Done talking about it.
Never existed. Pam Bondi just lied and said she had one. What?
Make some.
I'll play the clip again if I got it still up. I can grab it.
Noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Every hand of 7,000 people at his own events. At his own event. But here's what he says after he gets back and talks on the phone to Trump.
Plenty was said this last weekend at our event about Epstein. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine.
Kind of interesting now.
Everybody cares.
How many of you are not satisfied?
Fall in line or Trump will never support you again. He wants it to go away. My gals, my guys and my gals, they're all coming after a little lady named Pam Bondi. Perhaps you've heard of her.
With the results of the investigation. It looks like it's going to be, and now this is like the who's going to be off the island first, right? This is like who's going to be voted off the island first. I don't know what to believe on that.
Epstein is a key that picks the lock on so many things, not just individuals, but also institutions, intelligence institutions, foreign governments, and who was working with him on our intelligence apparatus and in our government. This is why it's a time for choosing now.
Seems like everybody else is still interested. Pam Bondi. She's doing a great job. Lots of guys and gals coming for her head. Here it is.
I introduced today an amendment demanding the full release of the Epstein files. The Speaker's Rules Committee should demand a vote tomorrow of every member of Congress. Yes, we should release it, or no, we should not. This is a question of whose side are you on? Are you on the side of protecting the rich and the powerful who've put their thumb on the scales of government to suck out millions of dollars while working?
She already got her brother elected to the head of the D.C. bar.
Class Americans suffer, or are you on the side of the people? The Attorney General said on her desk was the Epstein file, and now she's saying, no, nothing to see, don't release it. This is a question of trust. We need to release the Epstein files so we can restore government of the people, by the people, and for the people in every matter.
What's scary is I think they'd be able to get away with that. They just made a list of a bunch of Democrats that nobody liked, the Clintons and whatever, Biden, and put it out and said, here it is. It's all Democrats on the Epstein list. A lot of blue guys there. A lot of blue. They've never seen a map so red. Epstein list, a lot of blue. They could probably get away with it.
Member of Congress tomorrow should be forced to vote on this amendment.
I just want to watch this one again. That's the elder millennial. Those tiny little legs he's walking around on.
Ready to do community service. service, let me know.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, when you're ready to do community service, let me know. I do it all the time.
It's fine. He said, what did you say?
I'm just offering to help you do community service and help out.
Well, I don't have any hours left to do.
Okay. Well,
I already took care of them.
Well, even if you don't, when you want to come help out the community, just hit me up, dude. Oh no, I'm always here to. I'm always here to help people help out the community.
I'm here to work for America. I'm not here to do anything for you.
Volunteer.
Why are you covering your face? Why is your face covered? Why is your face covered?
Why do eyes cover their face?
Because people target them and try to attack them.
Oh, same for me.
Oh, we're coming after you? Who does all the violence?
It looks like a peaceful protest, doesn't it?
If you weren't scared, you'd take off your mask.
Hey, Joe.
If you weren't scared, shut up,
Joe.
I know just recently she got a case dismissed that was a plastic surgeon that was giving out fake COVID vaccination cards. That was like 2 days ago.
Hey, Joe, it's off. Hey, Joe, it's off.
There we go. Now we got it. Now we know who he is. Now we know you got a good beard. I got to give you credit.
I know.
They did drop that. That was the FCPA investigation into Pfizer.
I know.
As soon as she took office, that was gone.
Now be a man all the time and keep the mask on.
Yeah, when you want to do community service, your breath smells like beer. You sure you should be drinking, bro?
I was drinking tequila.
Oh, DUI on probation.
That's the FCPA is the federal corrupt foreign corrupt practices act. That's when U.S. companies bribe foreign officials and shit. That was dropped almost instantly against Pfizer. And then Trump said we should make it legal. That's how business is done. We should let U.S. companies bribe other countries and other companies around the world. That's how business is done.
Like beer. You sure you should be drinking, bro?
I was drinking tequila.
Oh, DUI on probation.
God, he's tubby. He just doesn't look like that on his live stream or on his videos.
I know. Better be careful, Joe. They might tase you again. Piss yourself.
Uh-oh. He doesn't look like that in person, does he? Or he doesn't look the same in person as he does on video. All right, back to this guy. He's going to give us a rundown of Trump's latest meeting.
I watched Trump's meeting today with Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, so you don't have to, and here's my overview. The craziest thing he said is he has not been involved with the Russia-Ukraine war for very long, and it was not an initial focus because this is Biden's and Democrats' war. It's not a Republican war, and it's not Trump's war, and he repeats that over and over and over. The meeting is only 34 minutes long, but he somehow manages to bring up Biden 10 times in 34 minutes.
Every 3 minutes.
If you don't speak Trumpinese, very little of what he said is going to make a whole lot of sense, but that's why I'm here to translate. He said
I don't think the problem is that the press would hunt down the investigators and verify the list. It would be for like Democrats, sure. But MAGA would just eat it up. It doesn't matter who. After Trump releases it through Pam Bondi or through Kash Patel or Dan Bongino, let's say Pam Bondi steps down and then Kash Patel, Dan Bongino do a joint press conference and release it, and it's all Democrats, every one of them, or like Republicans they don't like. It's all, and they release it and say, we had to get, rid of Pam Bondi so we get this out there. I don't know why she was against it or didn't want to release it, blah, blah, blah. And MAGA would eat it up. And then who the fuck could come out and tell them it's not real? That would change their minds. They'd be out trying to murder people.
main reasons that everyone was...
It doesn't matter who, even if Kash Patel and Dan Bongino came out later, like let's say they come out 3 days later and say, oh, that was a fake list. Wink. I don't think they could stop them.
Today was to hear about how he is very unhappy with Russia, but then immediately he says, but we'll talk about that another day. He gives Russia an ultimatum to make a peace deal within 50 days, after which time he says that he is going to put 100% tariff on all products coming out of Russia, and then he says that this is a secondary tariff, and then he at later points talks about a 500% some other secondary tariff, but then says that this is going to be on top. It's all very confusing because, again, he does not understand how tariffs work. He literally thinks that Russia would be paying the tariff. As far as I can actually tell, the purpose of this meeting was basically to just announce that Europe and NATO is going to be buying weapons from the United States to give to Ukraine. Okay, and then he goes on this long rant about how we have the best weapons in the world, and then he talks about the strike in Iran multiple times, saying every single missile that was fired absolutely hit. It was completely massively destructed, and he said on a scale of 1 to 10, he would give the success of that bombing a 15. He then goes on this really long rant where he talks about all these other conflicts that he's been able to solve. So he says India and Pakistan was settled through trade, and had they not settled that, then within a week it was going to be a nuclear war. No trade agreement was signed though, so I'm not really sure what he's talking about there. He said that settled Rwanda
and both Iran and Pakistan came out and said he had nothing to do with it.
Congo after it had been going on for 30 years. And
I'm sorry, India and Pakistan.
Many of them with rough weapons, as he says, like machetes, getting their heads chopped off. As far as I can tell on that, in 2020, there was some sort of economic agreement signed between the two countries that was facilitated by the U.S., but nothing about like a ceasefire or anything like that. He said he solved Serbia and Kosovo. He used trade to solve that. The conflict between Serbia and Kosovo, as far as I can tell, happened in 1998 and 1999, so not really sure what he's talking about. He said, we're working on the Gaza Strip. It's one of the worst deals ever made. They give up a bunch of oceanfront property. I don't really know what he's talking about there, except for to say that there should be a one-state solution where Israel just bombs the shit out of them, which is what he promised in his campaign.
That's right.
The entire time. He said they're going to finish the job and flatten the place. He also, after he became president, you might remember, released his whole video of Trump Gaza. So that was really weird. But he did say we're doing pretty well on Gaza. That's what he said. There are Palestinians, innocent Palestinians being killed every single day, but apparently we're doing really good. He said Armenia and Azerbaijan, just mentioned them, didn't say anything about them, just claimed that they did. And then he says that Egypt and their neighbor, but doesn't mention what country it is, but one of the biggest dams in the world, a little bit outside of Egypt, but the U.S. funded the dam, and it's going to be solved really quickly. This is another conflict that he in the past has claimed that he has unilaterally solved by himself before. Oh yeah, and he tops that all off by saying that Russia is the only one we haven't been able to get done, even though he mentions that multiple of these are still ongoing, if anything actually happened at all. He randomly throws in that the 2020 election was completely rigged and stolen from him, and of course mentions multiple times that this war...
That's the River Nile Dam, and I think it's in Ethiopia, right? But Ethiopia, Egypt, Sudan, all of them are fucking argue about the dam.
Would have never happened had he been in office. He said when this war started, Ukraine had no chance, even though they have allies like us who were supposed to support them the entire time. So they did have a chance, and we know that because they've been holding their own for coming up on, 4 years now, 3-4 years. And then he says that he's very excited about the Golden Dome. He talks about Ukrainian cities being bombed. He says that a ton of people leave, but also a ton of people stay, but also a ton of these buildings are collapsed, and they apparently don't use rebar. So when these buildings are collapsing, it's like they're made out of paper. They're not very strong, I guess. And he keeps calling people's living spaces apartment houses, which is just a weird thing to say. I don't know what apartment houses are. I guess just apartments. He said we really became friendly with NATO after this last summit meeting where they agreed, I guess just because they agreed to pay a higher percentage. And then he says that he thinks we could have had a deal like 4 times. And then he says that when the final numbers come out, you'll find out that, in fact, the media has been underreporting the number of deaths in Ukraine, and just he's the only one who knows that yet. And no one else happens to know. He just says that everyone is underreporting. Regarding the tariffs, because he's very definitive on this, he says that this could be a real chance at peace, or it could just be the same thing. Who knows? He says that the Biden administration was the worst administration, not just in his opinion, but in, as he says, everyone's opinion. And then regarding the trade deals, remember he was supposed to do 90 and 90 days. He's now saying that those letters that he sent out are the trade agreements. Now, this is something he said before, but he says we're not going to negotiate because those letters are the trade agreements. So 90 and 90 days, because everyone was calling. Remember, they were so worried that they were calling immediately. They couldn't get people on the phone fast enough to answer these countries because they just wouldn't stop calling. No, the trade deals are just the letters that he sent out on social media. A reporter asked if Putin escalates, how far are you willing to go? And he says, don't ask me a question like that. And then they said, how did you tell Putin that this was happening? And he says, I speak to him a lot and I always hang up and say that was a nice phone call. And then there are missiles, so the convos are meaningless. And so basically he didn't tell Russia that he was going to be having this meeting where he was going to be announcing a 50-day ultimatum that would result in 100% secondary tariffs, as he calls them, if they don't come to that agreement. So he's not communicating with other world leaders. He's just using weird press conferences to tell the whole world. Oh yeah, right after saying that his meetings with Putin are completely meaningless, he says that Putin was able to trick Clinton and Bush and Obama, but Putin was not able to trick him. I hope you all remember that time during his first administration where Trump went into a room with Putin for about 90 minutes where no one has any idea what they talked about. And when Trump came out, the talk of the world was how defeated he looked because he clearly got schooled by Putin the entire time. In his first administration, you remember that? He says the auto pen was the biggest scandal we've had in 50 to 100 years. And he says that the only point of the auto pen is to sign the, what he claims is tens of thousands of basic basically fan mail coming in from little children every single week who love their country. And so that's what the auto pen is for, is just to sign that. Then he said during the Biden administration, not Biden, because Biden, of course, would have never gone for any of these horrible policies, open borders, transgender for everyone, whatever that means. But he says it's the people that were on the other side of the Resolute desk that were the problem. And he says that they were, quote, sick people. He says the radical left took over the White House, and if he didn't win in 2024, that our country would be completely dead again. On that note, he wraps the whole thing up by talking about how our country was dead a year ago and how we're hot, hot, hot now, baby. He says it like 3 or 4 times. Hottest country in the world. He says that everybody's saying it, and we are hot, 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 but we were dead a year ago. If you tried to watch that, I understand that it would have been very difficult to understand any of what he was saying because it was jumbled and mixed and all over the place. And you can probably tell that by the fact that I was only able to shorten a 34-minute conversation to a 7-minute conversation, even though very little was actual said, because he just rambled and said incorrect things. And so I had to take note of them because I do this thing called fact checking and I can't just let him continually ramble. So anyways, if you've stuck out this long, and I know somewhere between 10 and 13% of you probably have, I do have one ask of you. Could you please, because I was putting out a 7-minute video for you, could you take 15 seconds and go into the link in my bio and follow me on Instagram, just in case this site does eventually get taken down? I would like to not have to rebuild the entire thing on another platform. Thank you so much for being here. Honestly, I really appreciate it.
I do like his breakdowns. It is, let's discuss something on TikTok, and I'm assuming on Instagram too. I don't follow anybody on Instagram, but I guess I probably need to. They're talking about TikTok's been sold, and now they got to make a U.S. specific TikTok account and all kinds of wild shit. We'll have to wait and see. All right, here we go. Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens.
You're a black woman. At the end of the day, elephant in the room is you're a black woman in a mixed marriage. So obviously,
I'm interested.
On this.
We don't. Yeah, listen. I'm never going to obviously adopt your beliefs on it. I just think it's patently wrong.
But do you understand why I would want to have grandchildren that are white?
I don't have an issue with you saying you want your kids to look like you.
But do you understand why I would?
I don't. Listen to how Candace navigates this conversation. God, it reminds me of Norm Finkelstein a little bit. It must be intentional. I'm guessing it has to be intentional because I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think Candace is probably decently above average intelligence. Like, she's a smart person, so she can't be this stupid. So I think it's a show. But so what is the question Nick asks is, do you understand why I would want to have kids that look like me, right? Personally, I don't give a fuck, and I think it's cringe. But like, I can understand that, and I can articulate that, right? People feel like they have a connection to their family members, both past and future. They want them to look similar. It's nice to look at a picture and go, oh my God, that's my dad, or you look just like my granddad. And especially people that think race is such an important feature of a person probably want to feel like they have more in common with their ancestors and then with their future progeny, your children, right? So even though I disagree with it, I understand it.
Want to have grandchildren that are white?
I don't have an issue with you saying you want your kids to look like you.
But do you understand why?
Yeah, so Trump claims that if they release all the files, it'll hurt innocent people that had nothing to do with having sex with minors on the island, but were just associated with Epstein like he was. But he's never, ever, 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 ever been afraid of accidentally hurting somebody by saying something or releasing something. So it's got to be him, his money and donors, and that's it. That's it.
I would believe that or feel that way.
No, but
so she says initially, like, she's like, I'm not offended, or you can say that or something.
I think it's patently wrong.
Says, hold on.
But do you understand why I would want to have grandchildren that are white?
I don't have an issue with you saying.
She said I don't have an issue with it. That's not what he's asking, though, right? Do you not understand English, or what? Why? That's not the response. That's not even responsive to what he's saying.
Want your kids to
but
look
do you
like
understand why I would believe that or feel that way?
No, because I'm not white.
Like, imagine. Like,
oh. By the way, something a lot of people didn't notice in the Big Beautiful Bill, I forgot to talk about this the other day. Do you guys know what CAFE standards are? CAFE, C-A-F-E, CAFE standards. You probably would if you owned a large business or worked at a large business, a large corporation, but it is the corporate average fuel economy. And basically what this is like when you take a corporation of a certain size, it's like big corporations, and they have a fleet of cars. The U.S. government says, hey, your fleet of cars, you can have work trucks, you can have SUVs, you can have gas guzzlers, but across your entire fleet, we need them to be at least get 20 miles per gallon or 25 or 30 miles per gallon, depending on, whatever the standard is, right? Now, if they don't, what happens? If they don't keep up with that, what happens? They're randomly tested. They submit their fuel mileage. If they don't, what happens? They have to pay a penalty, a fee, a fine. They pay a fine. for however far they are out, however many cars are out. And where does that fine go? To the U.S. Treasury. It makes money. It makes money for the government. Now, most corporations just follow it, and then sometimes they're out and they get a fine and they pay to the U.S. government. It makes, why would we change that? Leave cafe in place because it was a reconciliation bill. They can't touch cafe, only budgetary issues, but they removed the fine. So there's no way to enforce cafe. Why would you even do that? That doesn't even make sense. It's still in place. They're still required by law. But if for some reason they don't get it, now they just don't have to pay for it. Fucking stupid, man.
I'm 5'8", and imagine I say, oh, I hope that my son is the same height as me. I hope he's 5'8" as well. And Candace is like, oh, I don't know about that at all. I was like, well, you can't sympathize at all with that or empathize at all with that? She's like, no, I'm not 5'8". Like, what? What is that response?
I don't understand.
What about your grandchildren being black, for that matter, then?
Well, I'm mixed race, so that may just feel like they...
Like, bruh. Wait, where is it?
Bruh. Each kid comes out looking different. It's kind of incredible. So I think that when you actually have children, you realize, like, it's incredible how, like, my daughter is a little bit darker, but
I don't personally think there is a list. I don't think there's a list that says these are the people who fuck children or flew to the island and fuck kids or whatever. I don't think there is a list. I think there's an investigation. There's a bunch of people that had names associated that flew with him, visited with him. He managed their money, whatever. I think there's videos, and I don't know if the perpetrator, if it's not Epstein himself, who can be in those videos that they may or may not prosecute. But I don't think there's just like a client list. I just don't think there is. That'd be something really weird for him to keep around and for us not to see it by now. I know there's the flight logs, right? And I know there's other documents, like in the Ghislaine Maxwell case, she kept like a journal of like almost like a schedule, an itinerary of when they met with this person and lunch with this person, blah, blah, blah. But none of it had to do with like fucking kids. I would say there's videos. It seemed like he kept his, or at least we've heard many reports that he kept cameras in his house. But that, I know we're thinking blackmail, but what if that was just his weird fetish? And the only time he pulled the tapes is when he was fucking kids.
she looks like my husband, and then like my son's whiter, but he looks just like me. And I think that's kind of one of the exciting parts of being in a mixed race relationship. I'm always like, oh, I wonder what this kid's going to come out looking like. If you're saying that generations down, like 3 generations down, it'd be possible that you could just have all black kids or something.
I think so. What I think the problem is with the Justice Department and why no one's released all of it is because it's hard to differentiate the people that they met to fuck kids, which I do think there was probably people, obviously rich, wealthy, powerful people that fuck kids, and the people that they just met because he was also a rich, wealthy, powerful person.
Something would that bother you? You'd probably be dead. Before that happened, you'd probably be dead.
I'm alive now, and I think the Little Black Book was just his contacts that we've seen. We've seen a release of like 150 some names that were just his contacts, like Leonardo DiCaprio and all those people were in there.
And now I haven't heard Candace Owens' other arguments. I can't recall any with specificity because I can only watch Candace Owens for so much time, like per year, without like actual radioactive destruction of my body because she's so disgusting. But like that's a very materialist, atheist, borderline hedonistic, living in the moment kind of argument of why would I give a fuck about what my future generations look like? I'm gonna be dead. Doesn't make a difference to me. That's some shit I would say. That's very surprising to hear from her. Maybe she always has had that position. I would be surprised if she did, but I haven't heard enough of the other shit to know.
That happened, you'd probably be dead.
I'm alive now, and I
no. What I'm saying is that like by the time you could breed it out, so to speak, you'd be dead. So I'm just answering your question.
So what we know for sure is that the flight logs existed, that his contacts existed, that he kept diaries. This is from an FBI insider said he kept diaries that listed visitors like high-profile visitors. But it doesn't say whether they were for a goddamn barbecue or whether they were there to, fuck kids. And that the FBI, when they raided his island or whatever, and his New York City ship, they recovered a substantial amount of material that included recording devices, computers, hard drives, memory sticks, photo albums, and explicit images and videos. But they didn't say that it was just him on the videos or other people or whatever. You think it would be smart of him to keep blackmail material if he had people there fucking kids. Would he have kept it on him or in his house, or would he kept it somewhere else? Maybe they're not even found it yet. Plus, I also think they said there's hundreds of videos of him in sexual acts. I think it was like a weird kink for him as well.
Like, it doesn't bother me at all. No, obviously not.
I'm saying, but do you understand why I would feel that way?
Also, it's become such a fucking social media sensation that it's hard to remember. Like, when you think back on it, it's hard to remember what the FBI actually said, or whistleblowers with the FBI, or anonymous source with the FBI and to the news, and what's just been all over social media, and you've read it so many goddamn times. You're like, yeah, that was right, wasn't? Didn't they say this? Didn't they say this? It's hard.
If I understood it, I wouldn't be in a mixed race relationship. I don't
like, how stupid. So, like, it's literally the quote. It's so, and this is supposed to be a meme quote. Like, everyone should obviously know this. I don't know who said it. I don't give a fuck if it was Aristotle or not. But it is the mark of an educated mind to entertain a thought without accepting it. Right? You should be able to understand why somebody thinks something without necessarily agreeing with it or embracing the view as your own. What is this like? Well, since I don't do it, I can't possibly understand it.
He did. So a lot of his rubbing elbows with celebrities and politicians and shit, he and Ghislaine Maxwell used that to recruit his victims, right? Tell them that they could be models, or they could be movie stars, or they get them involved in politics because I know so-and-so. Then let me show you, this is my friend Donald, or this is my friend Leonardo DiCaprio, blah, 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 all that shit.
If I understood it, I wouldn't be in a mixed race relationship. I don't understand it.
You have no empathy then for, like,
no,
you can't step outside of your situation.
I don't need to have. How would I have empathy for it? I mean, I don't feel that way. Okay. So it's just something that we disagree on.
Well,
Nick was technically, he's looking for the word sympathy, not empathy, but it doesn't matter. She should know what he means. But this is just such a stupid conversation. Like, you can't consider, like, why are you talking to this person at all? Like, every single thing he says is going to come from the perspective of a white man that you're never going to be able to understand or relate to because you're not a white man. Like, what?
I'm saying that because I actually can understand the appeal of a mixed race relationship. I get it. I mean, I find other races attractive also. And, if I was in love with a person from another race, I would probably want to build a life with them also. But my values are not just who I'm in love with and things like that. It's also my heritage, my identity, my race. And, I like the idea. It is important to me.
I've already said that they had tons of video. That doesn't mean that it's someone else on the video. It could be him in the videos. I think if I kept blackmail on people that fucking powerful and they didn't know about it, right? I had secret recordings or whatever. It wouldn't be at any place that I visited, lived, worked, any of my family members lived or worked. It'd be like somewhere fucking remote in safe deposit boxes or some shit.
My parents look a certain way. Their parents look a certain way. We come from a certain place. I like the unbroken chain, and I want my grandchildren and great-grandchildren to have a similar complexion. I want them to have similar hair. Because
he wants white kids, guys.
These kinds of things, they echo. We're all connected, not just in time, horizontally, but vertically, across the generations. And so the idea,
race traders,
2 or 3 generations down the line, one of my children bears no resemblance to me at all. It's almost as if we're not related. It's almost as if I never existed. And there's something very disturbing to me about that. And I can understand why people are okay with that. Because people have various feelings about race. They say I don't care about my race or whatever, but I do.
Okay, I don't know. I hate Candace. I don't watch her at all. Jesus. Okay, what is this?
Protesters in a tense standoff. Good evening, everybody. You're watching LA Live News tonight. Thanks for being with us. I'm Marla Tejas.
I'm Christine Devine. New tonight, federal agents clash with protesters during an ICE raid at a Ventura County cannabis farm.
The operation at Glass House Farms near Camarillo today turned chaotic. Fox 11's Ed Lascos live there with very latest tonight. Ed, has it quieted down at all?
Yeah. Well, let's give you a look real quick, Marla. We're trying to give you an idea. This is Laguna Road here. It's across off Las Posas. This is a motorcade of some of the workers from Glass House Farms leaving, trying to talk to someone. They were saying they were told by a lot of the folks inside not to say anything. These are the folks, obviously, who haven't been detained by the federal agents as part of this latest immigration raid, and the crowd offering support here, clapping to a lot of the folks going by. But all of this, it's been playing out hour by hour, a tense situation targeting this legalized, and I say it's legalized there in California, a marijuana growing facility, a large sprawling complex here in the heart of Ventura County's farming district. In any event, tensions rising here. Look at some of this standoff from earlier. Watch. Yeah, very tense situation here as the federal agents moved in around noontime, and then the protesters moved in to not let it be so easy as it all went down, yelling at them, trying to make it difficult, trying to block some of the military vehicles going through. Federal agents responding with gas, apparent tear gas. Also, some of the protesters saying they were hit with some paintballs, rubber bullets going through. For their part, some of the video also showed some of the agents also ducking some water bottles and rocks being thrown at them by the protesters. So a very tense situation here as Glass House Farms, the target of this immigration raid, as a federal warrant had the agents move in here to not target the farm because of the marijuana.
One of the people working there died. So apparently one of the guys that was fleeing, I think his last name was Garcia. He was fleeing, running from ICE. He tried to climb up and over one of the greenhouses and fell 30 feet and died. ICE is saying they weren't pursuing him.
Marijuana situation, again, legal in California, but targeting them, alleging they are housing illegal aliens. That brought the confrontation, and that brought a lot of relatives here from workers inside.
I wanted to ask, how can't you believe in child trafficking when government contractors like DynCorp stayed a contractor and got bought out? I don't know. I missed that episode of Alex Jones.
Worried about what's been happening. Listen to their response.
There are hundreds of people who work at this glass house facility. From what I last heard is that maybe somewhere around like 40 or 50. I did see vans, white vans, exit this morning, and we have seen multiple ICE vans leaving through multiple dirt roads that can be carrying up to more than 50 people at this point. We're all illegals. If they come for one of us, they come for all of us. You know, and this is, you think about the U.S. stole the land from Mexico. You know, why do people come in from all over the world? Because the U.S. messed up their country more than it has done here. These are human beings. You know, Trump and the regime are going after people with no due process. You know, without the rule of law. They're just kidnapping people, and now they're sending them to foreign countries and concentration camps like Alligator Alcatraz.
And just some of the reaction that's playing out here as this standoff goes on. From Skyfox, we had a view of, looked like dozens of the workers from inside this farm that were being detained, evidently lined up one by one, waiting to be moved out, processed. We also have a lot of first responders from Ventura County here, making sure no one gets hurt. There's been some shoving.
I don't care about how white I am either. But I live it where people are like, it's still frowned upon to like fucking mix races and even sleep, much less sleep together, much less have a child.
There was actually an incident earlier where one of this, we come back out live. One of the folks in the area came by. It was a man, and he was supporting.
Yeah, they keep making it crazier and crazier with Black Hawks and tear gas and this like bum rush and flashbangs, and they keep escalating. And what do they expect people to do eventually? This is the goal.
Nice, and he was met with the crowd to kind of rough them up basically, and he ran off. Had no choice, but tension's very high here as this group leaves. Again, some of the workers from the farm inside, the ones obviously not being detained, being let go now, let out finally after a.
Oh, there it is.
I would have freaked out in this fucking situation. Even if I'd just been there like driving through, I would have freaked the fuck out in this situation.
Do not panic. Do not run. Do not run. Stay calm.
Baby girl grows micro penis after absorbing testosterone from laying on her father's chest. Oh shit, that's a House episode.
Take a look at this video.
Apparently, there were 14 teens there under the age of 18 that weren't accompanied directly. They didn't have a parent directly there. So ICE rounded them up, and that was just a byproduct. But they're trying to claim that's the reason they did it, so they get some sympathy, right? They're like, oh, well, we only went there to save these kids that shouldn't have even been working there. They could have been trafficked or anything, but I think that was a byproduct.
Right here, it appears a protester fired some kind of gun at federal agents. This happened this afternoon. It was a really chaotic scene at the time. A lot of smoke was being launched at the protesters. And again, it appears a protester fired back with that weapon. It looks like he fired at least a couple of times. We have not heard about any agents being hurt.
Do you think it was an airsoft gun, or I feel like if it was a gun, we'd hear there'd be other video or gunshots or something. Is there other video of this?
ICE agents are facing a 700% increase in assaults. Wonder why that might be. Could it be because they're also currently facing a 7,000% increase in just being places? Imagine that I never drive. I've never been in a car. I don't own a car. I don't drive. I don't do anything for 10 years. Now, on the 11th year, I get my license, buy a car, and start driving. I get in a wreck. And I say, the wrecks over the last over this year are 100% higher than the last 10 years.
To vehemently protest what's going on here, and just in the last few minutes, Customs and Border Patrol helicopter has entered the scene here. They are landing in the middle of the farm as we speak. It does appear that they were not planning to be here as long as they have been.
The next den that comes in should just executive order away as many guns as they can, and they go raid states that have disagreements and opinions about it.
Here as long as they have been, and so this helicopter that you're looking at here, guys, apparently just made a run over to Van Nuys Airport for some cases of water.
We're looking at helicopters right now. The government's coming to take my weed.
Cases of water, which is what they're bringing into the scene here. So there are a whole team of ICE agents at the farm. There are other agents down there as well as the National Guard police standing guard and protecting Laguna Road as this enforcement action takes place right here.
Was he ICE before Trump, or did he? Because I hear they're hiring about anybody right now.
Into hour number 4 this afternoon. Again, a major situation transpiring here.
They're claiming the helicopter only came to bring cases of water.
Oh yeah, this should be like Joe Rogan's nightmare, right?
I think the helicopter's an intimidation factor.
Weed, not the weed.
Former Speaker of the House, K-Mac, is here. All right, let's just go back to the top. So the Secret Service almost got Trump killed, and no one gets fired.
I think we've seen that.
They should all be removed. Promote the guys that did the security themselves. You'd have to evaluate the and then deleted their report. People protesting ICE. First it was, I'll film you. Then it was riots. Now they're going to the actual raid sites and trying to obstruct the apprehension. No, this can't lead to a good place.
No, you have to respect the rule of law, but it's also being encouraged by the other side of the aisle. They literally said we need violence against it. They are saying that. I think even Hakeem got asked the question the other day. He would not denounce it. If you're
yes, militia people, Proud Boys, J6ers, they're all. I got where I used to do government contracts, government work, and shit like that. I got an email saying that they were doing a job fair, and you could be hired same day. Pending, investigatory approval, background checks, shit like that. But you'd be hired on the spot.
Will not denounce this. No, okay. I may cut the picture so I don't show the...
Jesus. Dear Counsel, the court takes judicial notice of a report on enforced or involuntary disappearances from the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights Working Group on enforced or involuntary disappearances, which was filed by the petitioners, plaintiffs, and JGGV Trump. In the UN report, the government of El Salvador responded to the UN's inquiry opened by 4 families asking about the disappearance of their family members, each of whom are Venezuelan nationals allegedly deported from the United States to El Salvador, part of the mass deportations that have taken place since March 15, 2025. In its response to the UN, the government of El Salvador states, the actions of the states of El Salvador have been limited to the implementation of a bilateral cooperation mechanism with another state through which it has facilitated the use of the Salvadoran prison infrastructure for the custody of persons detained within the scope of the justice system and law enforcement of that other state. In status reports submitted pursuant to this court's June 5th,
again, we're just doing it because Trump paid us to do it.
The 2025 order, defendants have repeatedly skirted this court's directive to provide information regarding the steps they have taken and will take to facilitate the return of Christian to the United States. Instead, defendants have repeatedly made oblique references to their request of assistance from the U.S. Department of State, which has entered into negotiations to facilitate Christian's return and assume responsibility on behalf of the U.S. government for diplomatic assuming the government of El Salvador provided truthful information to the UN, no diplomatic discussion should be required here because El Salvador has no sovereign interest in Christians' continued confinement in that country. This court directs defendants to explain their position that diplomatic discussions involving the DOS are required to facilitate Christian's return. Damn. Well, will anything happen? Or will nothing happen?
That's the second guy. The Christian guy is the second guy that was the judge said that should be returned because he was deported also in violation of a court order. Federal judge in Maryland ruled Wednesday that the Trump administration wrongly deported a 20-year-old man to El Salvador. The ruling comes amid an ongoing legal battles over Kilmar Rego Garcia, a Maryland man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador last month. U.S. District Judge Stephanie Gallagher ordered the Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and several agency officials to facilitate the return of the asylum seeker identified only as Christian in court documents. Christian, a Venezuelan native, was deported to El Salvador after being designated as a member of a Venezuelan gang under the Alien Enemies Act. According to court documents, Christian, along with several other young asylum seekers, arrived in the U.S. in December of 2022 as unaccompanied minors seeking asylum. His asylum status was pending until he was deported last month. Gallagher said Christian's deportation was a breach of contract because it violated a settlement agreement that required the applications of Christian and other asylum seekers to be decided on by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, before any removal from the country. Maryland Congressman Glenn Ivey posted about the ruling on social media saying a Trump-appointed federal judge has ruled, is a Trump-appointed judge, by the way, has ruled that the Trump administration has yet again wrongfully deported another man. The United States judicial system allows immigrants the right to due process. He and Kilmer Abrego Garcia must be returned to the U.S. immediately. So that was the second guy that was deported wrongfully. So there you go. I don't know. And doing it in the middle of the night, like literally before, oh, well, we got your verbal order, but we thought it wasn't valid till we got a written order, so we went ahead and flew them all overnight. Shady motherfuckers. All right, guys, I started early, so I've gone longer than normal. Please consider supporting the show at coldbeer.fund, at least until we start getting paid from this new grant. That would be great. We could use a little bit of support until that comes. It'd be like a month and a half, something like that. Plus, wish me luck. I don't know if I'll do a show tomorrow. I'll probably get pretty upset during this informal conference that I have tomorrow. But I'll let you guys know ahead of time, and hopefully that works out. Wish me luck. I'll see everybody on the next one. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, love to see you. Bye. God, I'm so anxious. I can feel it. My heart racing already just talking about it.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag
I'm going to go puke. I'll be back.
You don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are.
They ought to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for not driving to the White House.
You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously.
We already covered that at Suko.
Give me a... Oh, my God.
Good night, guys.
Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit.
It's a fun show. We had some fun. Support the show if you want to. Coldbeer.fund.
You ain't seen none yet. Here we go. I think I started some shit.
Yeah, at Suko.
Get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle